his name?
His name is Red Fox.
Why, you big dummy?
Every time I go in, he looks at my blood sugar, tells me I'm a big dummy, and says it's going to be the big one.
Why don't you take care of yourself, you big dummy?
I'm sorry, Dr. Fox.
That's okay. Now, go sell some junk, you big dummy.
I'm on it, Dr. Fox. I think we have a sitcom there.
Yeah.
I wish I knew what I was buying time for. It might be a little more poignant. Yeah, but
How much time could be needed?
tiny.
Call it Ravenshadow and Son.
Yes.
That's a fucking show. WB. All day.
You big dummy.
You want?
Yeah.
You want to get the? You want to get the URL right now?
No.
BigDummy.com. Is that it?
That's a new
No,
one.
he didn't do anything with BigInThePants.com.
No,
Big
it's still-
Dummy and
Big Dummy
Big
in the
Dummy and
pants.
Dr. Fox. We never did do it.
Oh, we still have it though,
Oh,
right?
you know what? I have, as Ravenshadow would say, content. Like right on the tip of my tongue, and I forgot about it. I went and saw today the 2014 film As Above, So Below.
Oh, I've heard of that.
And it was kind of
That's about the curtains matching the drapes.
you know, no. Though I made that joke. What it is about is this woman who is obsessed with finding the Philosopher's Stone finds that in a very dangerous and cool opening scene in underground tunnels underneath Iraq, I think they say they are. She ends up finding that the Philosopher's Stone is buried under this church that is in the catacombs of France. Now, the problem is that, according to the maps, there are no catacombs under this part of France, but they find out that there are secret catacombs. And found footage hilarity ensues. I'll say this movie was okay. There's definitely a very fair comparison to be made to this movie, or a very fair. What was wrong with this movie was driven home to me after watching the film for this week. And I think it's that found footage movies shouldn't do too much, right? Like, Cloverfield hit it out of the park, but even if you pay too much attention to that, like, it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like, this movie did it right is that it didn't have any score. Though they did do a cool thing. There was this ambient music in the tunnels sometimes, just at weird times, which, acted like a score, which I thought was pretty clever. All the characters were really well thought out. The problem with this movie was that if it wasn't scary, and it should have been so fucking easy to be scary, but it just wasn't. And I'm gonna say I don't recall. I know we have a tepid trick. I can't remember what that was, but this is definitely a trick. But like, it's certainly not. It's certainly worth a watch.
Barely a trick.
Yeah, barely a trick. It's just like they did all these supernatural hijinks in it, and as soon as I don't know, like, there's probably a way to do it. Like, Grave Encounters was a good example of how they did it. But even that, as soon as you see something that can't happen, as soon as you see a special effect, whether you are super invested in the movie or not, in the back of your mind, you know that's a special effect. And it's sort of like the more special effects and stuff you do, the more conscious you are that there has to be some camera tricks there. And it's sort of just like just make a fucking movie then.
Right, like found footage movies, the genre that is the found footage genre, should be like books. You know what I mean? Like books, your imagination should kind of fill in the gap.
You've never finished one?
Well,
he read Vampire Lestat, right?
I mean, most of it. It stopped being about Lestat. It was every other motherfucker.
Every
You know?
other- all right.
So anyway, it should be like a book house. So
Your imagination should enhance it.
sure,
You should be along for the ride, and you wonder what are they going to show?
bringing us
like
back to
sound-
something.
like they don't show the bad thing, and it's just like sounds, and it like builds up the suspense by having like a long scene of like people being scared, and just like sounds, and then like something hits the tent,
Hey, tiny. We haven't gotten that point yet. Jeez.
Well, I think that there is something in between these films that what you don't see in one and what, like, literally this kid.
Did you say what you don't see?
What you don't see. Sorry, Dr. Foxx. What you don't see in one film is there's a halfway point between the fucking ridiculous amount of stuff that you see in the other film. For instance, in As Above, So Below, it turns out I'm gonna spoil a little bit because you guys aren't gonna fucking watch it. I don't know, and if the listeners do, like, don't pay $8 for it. You'll forget by the time it comes on streaming. I have to thank my friend Beaver McD. Actually, he took a hit for me, and I didn't have to pay to see it. But so these people basically are in hell. This movie is like a parable of Dante's Inferno, right? So one guy apparently let his brother drown. So he sees his brother like under, like they're crawling down the hallway out of the descent.
Okay. And
he looks down, and all of a sudden it's glass, and he can see his brother. Really cool effect because you don't see a cut, but like it's an effect, right?
Right.
And that was one of the good ones, right? That was one of the ones where I was like, wow, that was spooky and kind of cool. Another person, apparently, which is an epidemic between these three strangers.
Did you say appledemic?
Yeah, a freeze-dried epidemic. It's a good drink. Apparently let someone die in a car, so they go around, they see fire, and they go around the corner, and underneath the Paris catacombs, there's a flame, like a Volkswagen Bug ablaze underground in these tunnels with some kid like screaming and dying in it.
That really happened.
You know, like, so you see that in like that. There's like, I just don't. It's just question, like, how's that scary? Like it's a fucking Volkswagen Bug 1,000 feet under the ground. Like, the first thing you're gonna do is like laugh. Like, it didn't fucking drive there. People had to like crawl through. So, like, it made a lot of questionable choices. In that like, the guy got sucked into the ground. Like, sometimes when people would die in this movie, they would get like sucked into another world, and it was kind of a cool effect, but it was too much for what they were trying to do. And like, at one point, they tried to stop this guy, but as opposed to save him, his feet got stuck out of the concrete like in a fucking cartoon. It's just some fucking ridiculous stuff, and I feel like the biggest sin of As Above, So Below, if I'm saying that properly, is that the Paris catacombs, or what they were using as it, were fucking scary. You had to do very little to be scary. And the reason I had mentioned Tiny is that I was after the film, I was talking to our good buddy Myra from the Evil Streaks, and we were commenting how all monsters in movies kind of look like Pumpkinhead now. And like how Tiny had like hit the nail right on the head that monster was Pumpkinhead last week.
It may as well have been.
Yeah, and these monsters look like hooded Pumpkinheads. Like, they kind of didn't have.
I love putting pumpkin.
They kind of had like rotten apple baby faces, like, and like jagged teeth. Like, it just was like, it was not scary, Like, it looked like.
Well, you've seen it before. That's a problem, Like, Pumpkinhead was at least interesting at the time, because it's just like, oh, look, there's a new like freaking weird thing that's kind of like aliens, but kind of like a mutant monster thing, And
it was in a weird place too, right?
Yeah. And now it's just all that same crappy thing, like weird leathery skin, like defined musculature, and like veiny arms and shit like that, and like a pronounced, jaw with lots of sharp teeth and like weird big eyes. Like, who gives a fuck?
All makeup looks like the first person that gets kicked off in Face Off now. And these are the people that apparently it's like they got off the show early so they could go make movies. So, but yeah, it's a trick, but it's a shame that a film that got so much right. It's funny. I wrote this for the blog, but so now I don't need to send this to you. But a film that got so much right couldn't get the most important thing right, and that's being scary, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think with these found footage films too, it's like the scary ones anyway. You can feel that the director relates to the type of fear that they're trying to get across, or not. And I think, we'll talk about that later, but, some of the most successful films in that genre, like, Blair Witch and stuff like that, you could tell, like, the person like understands what's scary about it, you know.
Right.
So it's
Right.
it's
I
too
mean-
bad to it's too bad to hear that, you know, in these catacombs, you know, presumed catacombs under France, like if you can't understand the like fear and the loneliness of those dark tunnels and the like claustrophobia and stuff, like huge fail. It's so easy.
Yep.
You know, it's so easy. Just don't let anything happen. Just let the silence, you know, envelop the watcher, you know. But
It
you know.
made sense that there was multiple cameras. All the characters were really believable.
Yeah.
They did multiple cameras right. They did it in a way so that you didn't know who. They didn't do it just so they'd have a cheap gimmick, the switch. They did it so you didn't know, like nobody was kind of safe.
How they do
You
it?
know, so this girl's been on this quest her whole life.
Yeah.
So she hired a person to make a documentary about her getting it, right? Her finally achieving her goal. And they all had head lanterns on, and they put like a camera in all the different head lanterns.
Okay.
And the people that brought her, I believe, I could be wrong. I think I read about this in the F. Paul Wilson book. I think that this art of like this kind of it's some interesting stuff too. This urban archaeology and this urban exploration on that sort of thing. I think they call that the urban exploration end of it hacking. Like, you know, going through all like, you know, the burnt out buildings in Chernobyl or, you know, like all these places that the catacombs in France and like, because like it's not like normal exploring because part of it is B&E. You know, like you have to get into these places where you don't belong. So all that stuff was really interesting and really modern, but not in like a dated like, oh my God, my Facebook profile disappeared sort of way.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it had a lot of tricks, had a lot of treats, but it's too bad that, you know, it was overall a trick.
All right, we don't need to call me Tom anymore. So
You get a free bonus review. That's 3 films you get
That's
reviewed
right.
tonight, folks.
three bonus review, and as an added bonus, Ravenshadow's not going to smoke tonight.
Incorrect, John.
What?
Incorrect.
You didn't
Johnny.
get the memo?
No,
I had
phone
a
doesn't
fax.
work in the catacombs.
I had a fax to you.
Oh, fax?
Yeah, you didn't get the fax on your phone?
No, I was checking out some car facts earlier. No, I was thinking about quitting.
You should.
they-
Did
Yeah,
you make your
for
wife
what? 2 seconds?
start again? You fucking asshole.
What are you talking about?
Wait, whoa.
Whoa,
Did
you
your
gotta
wife- Did Wife and Shadow start again?
What are you talking about?
I couldn't help but notice that unless he was getting pulled away to get yelled at, which is fucking awesome if that's what happened. Outside, they left more than once to go outside. I don't think it was for fresh air.
Good luck finding any around me.
I don't think they were. I don't think they were allergic to babies. Like,
No.
Is she smoking again?
Yes.
Oh,
that's
man.
fucking 100% your
You're
fault.
fucking
I
you're
didn't
bad
do it.
influence.
You.
You're
I
monster.
didn't do it. I tell
You
my
are
honey,
mon-
you don't need that.
Yeah, give it to me instead.
I'm really proud of you.
Yeah, you don't need this cigarette that's always within 5 feet of you.
Yeah.
running
Yeah.
around, you know?
Jesus.
Well, it's no fucking surprises.
You're gonna kill
No.
your own fucking wife. How do you feel about that?
No,
Jesus
she has the
Christ.
fucking marital club on her side of the bed.
No, that's like saying that. Like, think about this. Like, what if for whatever reason, like intentionally, not like for the reason you haven't had sex in a while in real life. What if you swore off sex and she walked around like half inebriated, talking dirty, and being suggestive all the time and naked?
I'd say you have my script, honey.
Right. What I'm saying is, wouldn't it be hard for you to not have sex then? Like,
Yes.
okay, what if you had to stop reading comic books for some reason, right?
Yes.
Okay. Would if she was fucking sitting around like, oh, look at Teen Titans Omnibus on my lap. Too bad you can't look at it. Wouldn't that make it hard for you?
It would
Yeah. So look, what do you think you did?
not quit in the first place.
Right. But what I'm saying is that you made her get back.
No, she did really good. She did really good.
The fact that she
No,
lasted
no,
as long
it's
as
you.
she
It's
did
you.
is a
It's
miracle.
totally.
It's not me. I'm not. Listen, no fucking surprises. You guys have known me since 1997. I'm the fucking scorpion.
What?
I'm the fucking scorpion.
What?
I'm not changing. Remember the frog and the scorpion? The frog.
Yes.
Ty, you know that story, right? You read a book.
No, what?
I know the
What?
story.
Oh, because I'm what
He
did you
kills the
expect?
frog, and he's like, "Why'd you do that?" Like, I'm a fucking scorpion.
I'm a fucking smoker.
So you're proud that you're gonna kill your wife?
No.
Is she the frog?
She's a frog.
You're like, what? You should have known.
You know what?
I'm the fucking smog man.
I'm the smog.
If your wife is the fucking frog in the story and you're treating her that way, don't be surprised when you come home and I'm at the lily pad.
No, meaning no.
Lilliputian pad.
She's good. She has good days, bad days. She's great. She's fucking strong.
She has good days, and then she has days when you're around.
Yeah, days where I'm not in the studio until 12:30 at night or the most.
All right,
Poor
well,
girl. Poor
yeah,
girl.
poor fucking girl. Jesus
Real
Christ.
fucking nice.
Poor girl.
I got problems too, you know.
Speak of the devil, this guy, your girlfriend smokes.
Yeah, but she doesn't smoke anywhere near as much as this guy does.
And plus, she's doing it to get away from him.
That too. But no, she smokes one in the morning and one at night. As far as I know, she tells me that's what she does.
That's a fucking lie.
How many she smoke? I know you hang out with her.
And she smokes.
Smokers know.
Let's go to commercial. Yeah, no,
Listen, guys. She smokes one in the morning and one at night, and one when we have sex. So she's had 8 this month.
what? How many days in a month?
One thing I wanted to point out, a few of the films that we reviewed in the last several weeks are actually now on Netflix Instant.
Oh, Snoop.
So Blue Ruin, which we've
Yes.
mentioned, I think.
A few of the films that I've paid for Instant are now on Netflix. That's great.
Yes.
Yes.
Rigor,
Good thing we waited.
Rigor Mortis also just popped up on Netflix.
Good.
Yep. So
Are they bugging our show or listening to it?
they might be both. I don't know. But yeah, if you listen to those episodes and haven't checked out those films, go ahead and give them a watch.
So
because they're
expect Willow Creek to show up in about a week or so, or 2 weeks.
It probably will. Probably next week it'll show up.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do we? Okay, so I guess that's it. We talked about XSplit, which went down as we were talking about it. And we also have Amazon.com. The holidays are coming up, right?
That shit's ours?
Yeah, we own it.
Why are you fucking begging for...
Tiny sold his synth to Johnny Amazon and gave him a good deal.
Really? How much is that? How much of that is coming back to us?
None.
Yeah, he just did straight up.
Us?
What's that, Tiny?
To us? You mean like the royal us?
Yes.
He's
Is me part of that?
that guy's no longer my favorite member of NES wrestling.
Who? Johnny Amazon?
Yeah.
I think it was just the Amazon.
It was the Amazon.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Well, his first name, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to give away his first name.
That's like people calling Boba Fett instead of Robert Fett.
True. You know, people like,
Robert Fett.
I would not be so familiar with the deadliest bounty hunter in the galaxy, but it's just a thing now, you know?
He didn't really do a hell of a lot.
Yeah, he did.
Dancing around in underoos.
He rode around on a Banta in that cartoon.
A Banta. Yeah, people enjoy his show because of our Banta.
All right, so if you do shop on Amazon.com, go to trickortreatradio.com, click on our link for Amazon, and then do your shopping there. We get a little cut of it. Helps keep the show going, pays for the hosting, all that stuff. One thing we haven't done in a while, I think we do it in some of the breaks, but I can't remember. I don't know if I have. I just keep playing the same ones over and over because they make me chuckle. But if you want to get a hold of us, you can do so a couple ways. Podcast@trickortreatradio.com is our email. You can tweet us at the Deadites, or go to trickortreatradio.com, and on there you'll see a whole host of ways to contact us. All of our social media links are there. You can leave us a voicemail. Just go to trickortreatradio.com, and on the contact link, a little drop down will appear. You can email or leave a voicemail directly from there. And what else is going on there? Ravenshadow.
My man Double Bar is dropping some.
No, trickortreatradio.com.
Oh,
But we can talk about the fib. Yeah, we can talk about the fib.
You can get a link to the fib on that, which is the fan interaction board.
Yep, which has been dead lately.
It's been blowing up like 7-Up, man. Pictures of Batman, Double Bars, dropping battles.
That was a pretty. He owned that dude, by the way.
Right, really? Yeah. Like, he was fucking good, right?
Well, not for nothing, but I'm not going to post any, I'm not going to post any movies of me doing bad, right?
Fair enough.
Like, look at this time MonsterZero made me look dumb.
And also, I've actually been catching up on our buddies over at Outside the Cinema.
Yeah.
I was way behind, but I'm catching up, and they play our promo every fucking week.
I am.
Do this.
And I feel like a dick because I don't even have anything of theirs.
I've asked, and they just make fun of me.
Okay.
What's the show called?
I am super far behind too. But
Yeah.
like,
I listened to
cannot-
like 3 or 4 episodes this week.
I cannot endorse that show enough. It's really
the best,
good.
yeah.
It's slick. It's pro. Those guys are really funny. And if you think we're dicks, like we got we got nothing on them guys.
And we'll have to. I know Bill has mentioned it on the show a few times, but he wants to plan a get together, and it's definitely about time we get together with those guys because
Yeah,
it's been a while.
they're fucking best. Maybe we should plan
Absolutely.
something for like a Halloween, you know,
Yeah.
we should throw a show or something.
Yeah. Why not?
The cool thing is that they're doing their Halloween Throwdown, which we can actually
Yep,
check
yep,
out this
yep,
year because
yeah.
normally it's the same exact day as our show.
Truth. Yeah.
Was that you, Tiny?
No. What?
I don't know. I just heard some sound. I don't know what it was.
He's like, I'm leaving on a jet plane. I like this jet. I don't love it.
All right. Well, so yeah, we'll have to catch up with the OTC guys soon.
I love those guys.
Yeah, they're awesome. Both
Like I
of them are
really
awesome.
consider lots of great friends in the community, but those guys are our brothers.
Absolutely, and it helps that they're close proximity, so we can drive to their houses as opposed to most of our other podcasting
Yeah,
friends.
it helps me stay nice because Mr. Chris could eat me.
I don't think you'd want to, but
I'm delicious.
No. Probably not. Why not?
Now that I
And-
have my new hairstyle, maybe.
and you're hiding it.
I know I have to. I don't think the 1080p will do my headline any favors, but
All right, we need to get into this. We got 2 films to review.
They'll probably go to commercial soon.
Yes,
we're tired. Can we do this a different night?
yeah, we can do. We want to do it tomorrow night. Start over.
Pause.
Pause. Let's pause it.
Everyone at home, just wait.
Just wait. Yeah.
Big
Order
guest
pizza.
next week, though. More on that later.
Okay. Yeah. We'll talk about it after our first review. Let's do that. Let's hop to a commercial break and then we'll be back to review Willow Creek. Ooh.
Do you love a scary story? Do you love to dance? The Big Scary Monster Haunts at Midnight is a collection of dark songs about sex, love, death, revenge, and the end of the world. Brought to you by the world's greatest monster hunting electroshock band, the Deadites. Available on iTunes, Google Music, Amazon, CD Baby, and all other digital distribution sites.
Hey there, this is R.A. Salvatore, call me Bob, and you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
Hello, Ruby.
What's up, y'all? It's me, the Yeti. Telling all the ladies that they couldn't be more fine and that we should knock those boots like Frankenstein. When I want to get my nerd on, I go to Facebook and I go to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group. That's the place where I get to talk about all the hip new horror movies, all the cool comics,
What comics?
RPGs, video games, you name it, we're talking about shit on there. And you could not be any cooler if you were the coolest kid in school. Be the first kid on your block to swing their cock over at the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group. Just go to Facebook, search for Trick or Treat Radio, ask to join, and it's like Nerd Nirvana, baby, without the shotgun blast. This is the Yeti, signing out. See you at the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group.
Follow us on Twitter at The Deadites, TheDeadites.com, and TrickOrTreatRadio.com.
Ravenshadow's gonna take his time, smoking his cigarette. What'd you steal from Ravenshadow? All right, we're back from break, and we're gonna talk about Willow Creek from Bobcat Goldthwait.
Zed.
Yes, from Zed.
Officer Zed.
Yes.
I am disappointed that not one person got called a peck in this.
A peck?
Yep.
What?
That's what they all called Willow.
Oh, Willow left good. Well, there's no one named Willow in it.
Who did they name the creek after?
All right, fair enough.
That didn't hurt. That didn't hurt.
That hurt.
That hurt.
All right, so we're going to review Willow Creek. It is unrated, 77 minutes, adventure, horror, mystery, found footage, directed and written by Bobcat Goldthwait, starring Alexi Gilmore, Bryce Johnson, Laura Montaigne, Bucky Sinister, which is a fucking awesome name.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Yeah, and Ranger Troy Andrews, and a lot of people as themselves.
Yeah, like Sean L. White Guy Jr.
Yes. Yes, exactly. That's
a fucking name, man. But Bucky Sinister is like that. I want that to be my name. I'm no longer MonsterZero. I'm Bucky Sinister.
all right.
I think that one's taken.
I'm jealous, man. That's a fucking awesome name.
I'll tell you what, he did something because you have been in 4 films and Bucky Sinister has been in 1, and he has IMDb credit.
That's true, yeah. And the synopsis we have here, I don't really like this one, but it doesn't say much. I'll read it anyways. From celebrated director Bobcat Goldthwait. First of all, is he
Zed.
celebrated?
I'd say.
Yeah, he put out a movie a couple years ago.
I love a lot of his movies, don't get me wrong, but
He put out a movie a couple years ago. What was it?
God Bless America.
God Bless America,
Yeah.
which was really, really good.
well, Shakes the
And
Clown.
Father of the Year.
I have not seen
got
that.
got a lot of buzz. Now
did
it is
Father-
now it is extra kind of poignant. Because you, sir,
It's
I might make a
posthumous.
mistake, but you, sir, are the last one who should be correcting my English or
Really?
grammar.
He did Father of the Year?
Yes,
I
I-
had no idea.
Avatar.
No, it's World's Greatest Dad.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna
What's the fucking difference? Isn't it the same story?
The prequel.
He directed Sleeping Dogs Lie, which I have not seen. He did a whole bunch of Chappelle Show and The Man Show, but yeah, I mean, lately he's been doing a lot more films, and his work's been pretty good. I love Bobcat Goldthwait. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know that he's celebrated. But anyways, from Bobcat Goldthwait,
He's getting there.
yeah,
Yeah.
comes this edge of your seat horror that will make you think twice before going into the woods. Doesn't really tell you anything, but they're looking for Bigfoot.
How many people have done that, though? Think about what Bobcat did here, okay? He was not only known for something, right? He was, like, known for, like, something, like, very memorable and off the wall, right? And, like, he has totally reinvented himself as
yeah.
this director, this, like,
Yeah.
you know, critically acclaimed director.
I can't help but imagine him with his stand-up affectation, though, directing like that, you know?
I want you to stand over there. in craft services.
Action!
Give me a TP.
I want you to picture a little kid who goes on outside all the time and gets picked on by all the other little kids. Are you that little kid director? No, but I always hit him. Why are you so dumb?
Why are you so fat?
I could act anywhere.
I need you to go over there and walk over to the camera about 10 feet.
That would be pretty amazing.
How awesome would that be if he actually directed
That's
a
a
movie
fucking
like that?
movie.
Holy shit, I would pay money just to see that.
Amazing behind the scenes like Blu-ray. I'd
Yeah.
pay good money for that.
Let's call up Scream Factory and let's make it happen. Get some good extras.
Hey, Bob, I don't really understand this weird wardrobe choice. Would I really wear this? They're like, I could wear that anywhere.
Can we have Sweet Chuck on set too?
Yeah.
Let's get the fucking band back together
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Steve Gutenberg.
Oh
Yeah.
man, fucking
Hightower.
Jones. Hightower.
Oh.
He's dead.
I
He's
know.
dead.
That's why.
Hey, Gutenberg's going to be at the Boston Super Mega Fest, so we can ask him then.
Didn't Jonas Ivo?
You turn your mic off again.
Sorry. Didn't Jonas Ivo try to sell us that they were roommates at one point or something?
I don't remember actually. All right, well, let's jump into this movie. Does anyone have a burning desire to go first?
I downloaded Burning Heart today by Survivor off of your server.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah.
All this stuff is making me want to go do stuff. I want to go listen to Burning Heart right now. I want to go see some Bobcat Goldthwait stand up now.
Yep.
It's been a minute since I've seen any of his stuff.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch Hut to Trot. Remember that joint?
Oh yeah.
You'd be that fucking guy. We'd get him on and be having a good conversation, and you'd be like, "Tell us about how to try."
Was it a real horse?
Whoa.
What?
I don't think you can say that.
What? Spoiler alert?
Horse.
No,
You're talking about horse.
Bobcat's good fucking horse. Tell you something now.
He's married to Nikki Cox, man. He doesn't need any whores.
Wow, really? Yeah.
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 After when they did Unhappily Ever After,
Yeah, he was the Muppet, right?
he was the Muppet. Yeah, and
Yeah.
he married the hot daughter.
You must like Bobcat Goldthwait if he was a Muppet.
Ooh.
You know, I saw Bobcat Goldthwait in concert back in '88 when he did Hot to Trot.
Nice.
I did. I saw
Wow.
I saw him. I saw him at the
The Wang Center.
no Hampton Beach Casino back in like 1988.
Wow, that's a good spot to see him too. Actually,
Yeah, it was pretty funny actually. He was pretty good.
I can't
pretty
believe
funny.
I can't believe I don't go to that place every day. What's more fucking trashy than a casino? A Hampton Beach casino.
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
probably more airbrush T-shirts there per capita.
Oh yeah,
Lots of neon.
lots of neon. You know,
That's where Rob Van Dam hangs out now, I think. Gets his
Ooh.
singlets.
class of night.
Monster
he's gonna have Beavis and Butthead on his ass one of these days.
MonsterZero transition from Grants to there.
When Grant's closed down, he transitioned to Hampton Beach.
Remember
Like, I don't know if you can help me. I need a shirt with Spuds McKenzie's surfing. No sleeves, please.
Gotta show off the fucking Gorgonite and the Wizard.
yeah, I want to show off Ren and Stimpy maybe doing a fucking beer fucking keg stand.
All right, I can go if no one else.
Yeah,
if no
go
one
ahead.
has.
wow.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
yeah
Hey,
go
this
for
is the second week in a row. I think he's starting.
This is insane.
I did rigor mortis, so that was 2
okay.
weeks ago.
All right. Let's.
So, right off the bat, let me just say I actually really enjoyed this film. So,
Thank you very much.
I hope you like the movie.
and if you guys have been listening to the show, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of the genre known as the found footage genre. A lot of times it's just very contrived, and the conceit just doesn't work because people forget about that they're actually making a found footage film and have cameras that don't exist and whatever. But this, I haven't seen Blair Witch Project probably since it came out, within a year of it coming out. I saw it 3 times, but I haven't seen it since.
We got a hold of a bootleg, and we watched it at your joint.
Whoa. We went to the
Actually, this
theater
is-
in Providence.
This
There's
is
a statute of limitations, and then
this-
we went and saw it in the theater a
We
few
did.
times, and then
it
we saw
played-
it in the fucking drive-in.
Well-
There's a statue of limitations
Statue
on
of limitation.
Ellis Island.
Tiny, I was fucking thinking that.
Yeah, the
It's
French
a
gave it
statue
to
of
us.
me.
I was fucking thinking of that.
The French gave it to us during the Revolutionary War.
And it also, Blair Witch actually played at the theater when I got a job as a projectionist, so I ended up seeing it there a couple times too.
Yep,
so.
we watched
As,
that.
as an infectionist, did you say?
Yeah. I just
Nice.
went around affecting people. It was fun.
we watched that
Really
in
great.
Deep Blue Sea 11 times.
I was gonna say my biggest takeaway. We were waiting in line to go see it, and people came out of the theater. There was some teeny boppers it was the scariest movie I ever saw, and we're like, oh, did you see Blair Witch? No, Deep Blue Sea. I was like, fucking really, fucking really.
Another awesome thing that happened at that theater was, remember, we got to see the early screening of Phantom Menace,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
and me and Slacks were late, and we were at the end of the line, and everybody Everett came out and went, everyone that's in line for Star Wars, go this way. And one emo-looking kid did, and he's like, "This isn't the line for 10 things I hate about you."
Oh man. So I haven't seen that in a while, so it's hard for me to really comment. But I remember it being quite good, and I wasn't a critic back then. I'm hardly a critic now, but I didn't watch it with a critical eye as much as I would now. But this film was probably one of the most realistic found footage films I've ever seen. And the thing the thing is, this could have been the video that they filmed. There's no soundtrack. There's no score.
Right.
And
am I out of line to say that this right now, this is the preeminent found footage Bigfoot film to date?
Yes.
You know what's funny about it is that the guy but we haven't seen the guy who made Blair Witch Project just is putting out a found footage film called Existence, and he's like, "Fuck you, Bobcat."
Wait, is this about like myths in general, like Loch Ness Monster?
No,
and
it's
shit
about
like
Bigfoot.
Just Bigfoot.
Yeah,
it's been done already.
Kind of late to the game. Seriously. Yeah. No, I don't know. Can you do that?
Well, whether
Is
it was
gonna
on
be found footage?
listen, man, whether it was on purpose or accident, I think that Bobcat, and I believe that I truly believe it was by accident, like using the constraints of reality. But I do think Bobcat might owe the Blair Witch Project guy one.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe two.
Absolutely.
But I watched this.
He still swooped him, right? I mean, come on.
I mean, there definitely was cues, and actually probably more than cues taken from it. But the overall, like, I really was kind of sucked into it, and for a while it just was sort of like going along. They're interviewing people, and like sort of had the thought like, okay, when are they going to get into this, But it didn't really bother me. Like I didn't really mind, and I thought it was paced very, very well. One thing I was actually going to save this for my closing remarks, but what the hell, I'll just leave it here, is that the pacing was well balanced, but it came dangerously close to being one side or the other. Like if it had focused a little bit more on the interactions before, it would have been too much. Or if it focused a little bit more on like camping in the woods, it would have been a little bit too much. So I think it had this like near perfect balance. Because it was like basically teetering on the edge of like being not quite a good balance, but I think he pulled it off, and like this absolutely felt like a home video. Like it wasn't doctored up, it wasn't shot on film. I mean, as far as I could tell.
What's interesting about it too that I never thought of until last night because it never seemed that way. Like because this isn't like 8mm like probably Blair Witch was supposed to be or whatever else. Like this doesn't necessarily seem edited. It seems like what's on that card in the order that they shot it.
That's what I mean. Like this is exactly, if you found this tape and put it in, this is probably what you'd see because
one camera,
couple outtakes of like, oh, let's do it again. You know, like
you want apple pie?
Yeah, and I thought that was.
I was like, oh man, you have apple pie too.
Did you bring us all apple pie?
I brought you an apple pie.
So yeah, I mean, there's not a ton to say. I don't want to like spoil too much. It's a pretty simple storyline. There's not too much going on, aside from the looking for Bigfoot stuff. But
looking for Bigfoot in all the wrong places.
Did you guys get the leprechaun mentions
yes.
in there?
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny after just reviewing Leprechaun Origins last week. Yeah,
I wish Bobcat made Leprechaun Origins.
True or false? Yeah. Okay. You ask a girl to marry you, right? Even if you're a douchebag and ask her to marry you in the middle of the woods in your harebrained Bigfoot search, right?
Yep.
And she says no. Is she obligated to give up ass?
What?
Or just even a beach?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe a handy. No.
It's like, it's not going to be one of those sort of nights. Like, I just pulled out a fucking ring. One way or the other, it's going to be one of those sort of nights.
Yeah. Either way, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to be kicking and you're going to be kicking and screaming and crying tonight, but
no.
I'll see you in the elevator.
That's not that kind of movie. Come on.
To a dark place.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
No, that's not what's going to happen.
I thought this was very believable and realistic. Like I thought the dialogue was really well done. It felt natural. Yeah. And a lot of times, especially in found footage films, there's the conceit of like a film of there's like a certain language of like a film language, and you sort of, they don't exactly talk like real people. It's polished. It's a Hollywood thing, but I felt like in this they did. I just felt like he nailed everything about it. He nailed whether the movie was good or not. Like this is a great found footage film. And
I wonder how much of it was improv. Some of it definitely felt improv.
A lot of it
I've
felt
read somewhere that
improv.
it was just about 100% in like all of the interviews but one were legitimate interviews.
Like there's
Well, I
one
could believe
there's
that.
one scene in particular where I have to believe that it's 100% improv. I can't believe that it was scripted out in its entirety.
which scene? You can say
The scene.
All right. The scene,
the tent scene.
the tent scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that? Did anybody else find that very reminiscent of the car scene from
The battery. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Two
Yep.
long
Yes.
takes,
Yes.
by the way. If he's telling the truth, or if who told me, he said who told me he's telling the truth is telling the truth. He did that twice, and shot it all the way through.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a
And
really
that was it, and one of those two takes made it to the final.
Yeah, I don't know if he cut one in or because there was an opportunity to have a cut
Oh.
there, but
There was or was not?
there was.
Yeah,
I
I
think,
guess there
'cause he
was.
turned out the light
Well-
once.
Yeah.
the thing I
Yeah. Okay. We can go. We can continue.
the thing I wonder is, in that scene, like, I wonder how much the actors knew what was going to happen. Some of that seemed some of the fear seemed real.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I wonder if they just sort of like were like, okay, let's do this scene, and then just sort of played tricks on them, and so they didn't necessarily know what was going to happen because it seemed like legit reactions.
I would
I think
believe
that-
that. I would believe that with the tent scene.
I think the
Yeah.
thing that scared
Absolutely.
me in that tent scene was definite because like it's hard if you look at a page of paper or even any sort of stage instruction and say at some point during this sentence you're going to be cut off by a sound.
Mhm.
Like it's hard to not try to make a certain point. It's hard to not have you put that ellipsis where you want it to be, like where you think it should be, and
Yeah.
try to talk too
Right,
fast or
right.
talk. And like he looked legitimately like me and him had I just shit my pants face. Like not
Yeah.
the first time the sound was made, right? And they were like, "Oh, what's that?" But then when the sound was made, like right outside the fucking door,
Right,
and it made the microphone on the camera distort a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like that was not fucking good times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that scene was super tense, and I don't get scared by movies. Like, I want a movie to scare me. Like, that's like I've been waiting, and this one actually, after I turned it off,
Is this brain scan?
Yeah.
Are we gonna have brain scan too?
Have you seen the Me MonsterZero
Starring
sex
Johnny
tape?
Wolfenstein?
what's that? But when I turned the lights out and went to bed, and I had like, I turned all the lights off, so I used my flashlight on my phone. What was
scared me
What was that?
again.
What was that? But I was just walking through Castle Wolfenstein with the flashlight on my phone, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, I'm actually like a little hesitant here.
Bigfoot's like, "Oh, sorry, just borrowing some milk."
It's a testament to the craft.
Like, oh, sorry, I didn't know anybody was here.
Yeah, yeah. I walked in the kitchen, and Bigfoot was drinking almond milk. That son of a bitch.
He's thirsty, man. Can't live on acorns all day long.
The fact that you were afraid of a Bigfoot in your apartment is unacceptable.
I wasn't. No.
Hey, be glad
no.
you didn't have a box of wheat thins out, just like in that commercial.
Hey,
Ja-
after
Jack Links.
I'll have you know that after MonsterZero saw Jaws, he didn't take a bath for 3 months. It didn't have anything to do with the movie, but
Tanya, I wasn't afraid of a Bigfoot. It just was the tension and fear that it created.
right. Yeah.
In the darkness and stuff like that. And, that was actually kind of cool because that doesn't happen to me very often at all. And so, yeah, I mean, I like this movie a lot.
he was
and-
afraid because that's the sound that his bunkmate made in prison when he came. He's like, not this again.
What was that?
Oh.
What was I in prison?
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to
Oh,
tell
did,
people.
oh, did,
No.
did you forget?
Yeah, maybe. If I did, if I was, I just forgot.
I guess Men in Black guys got a hold of him or something.
Yeah, men in
forgot,
men
repressed.
in black guys.
Who have sex with each other?
Men in black guys.
There's an alien over there. We better have sex with it.
The
Dirty
ending
work.
actually surprised me a little bit. I'm not going to say, but I didn't think that was going to happen. What happened. I didn't think that was going to happen for whatever reason. I guess I was just lulled into false sense of security with the movie. But
Did that turn anybody else on?
you son of a bitch, Jesus Christ! No, just you. I think you're the only one that get turned on by that. All right, so that's pretty much it for me. Who wants to go next?
Me.
Go.
Okay. Well, I man, I like I said, I saw Bobcat Goldthwait a long time ago, and I never thought that he would ever go into directing. And I saw some of his films, and I'm like, holy shit!
Oh shit, Bobby Chain's in the house.
He's on his way. He's picking it up, and this is the first time I've ever heard of this film, Willow Creek. So it does take a lot from the Blair Witch Project. The most notable thing is the fact that as far as I know, this is the first found footage film that goes back where the whole movie is taking place in the woods. Every other found footage film is basically taking place inside of a building, a city.
What about the one we reviewed, Frankenstein chapter? Whatever it's called, Frankenstein.
Frankenstein's Army?
No, Frankenstein.
We didn't do Frankenstein's chapter.
No, the one.
Oh, Frankenstein. I'm mixing my movies now.
Wait,
what? Which one are you talking
It's
about?
the one with fucking Frankenstein. It was like a found footage movie with Frankenstein.
It's
Frankenstein's
right.
Army.
No.
No.
That's the only
another
one
one.
we've done.
What's the name of that?
That's the only Frankenstein
that's the only thing
found
Yeah,
footage
but
we've
there
done.
was another one. It was stupid. There
I
wasn't
think
even
we
a
were supposed to
Frankenstein
do
in
it.
it. Was there?
No,
the
at
end?
the end, Frankenstein. Like they were basically like it's like they couldn't get the rights to Bigfoot, so they were like Frankenstein.
Yeah, I remember this. I don't think we reviewed it though.
I don't
did we?
No, I don't remember
No,
it.
you reviewed it. Said it was bad. No, that was.
Oh right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Because he walked from like somewhere to Alaska. Or
Yeah,
something.
he was supposedly in Antarctica too. No,
Oh,
he was.
Frankenstein theory.
Yeah,
Did we
Yeah.
review that?
Dynamo
we were
did.
supposed to.
No, we didn't review it.
Okay. And that takes place totally within the woods?
Yeah,
It does. Okay.
with the exception of, more than this film did. Say.
Really? Okay. But
Are we excluding Blair Witch Project?
Oh, he said other than.
no,
Other
I
than,
said
okay.
since Blair Witch Project.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
So I thought it was a nice change of pace to go back in the woods because outside of
Return
the
to the
one
well.
outside of the one that Dynamo brought up, every other found footage film takes place in a big city.
Every other
and a
one
small-
you've seen because you're setting
pretty
yourself
much
up for.
Well, yeah, I know, but
You didn't know about
I-
this movie, and it was one of the biggest festival darlings in the world. So it's probably possible that you haven't seen all the found footage.
Oh,
movies
I
that come out.
sincerely doubt that. I sincerely doubt I've seen them all. I know I haven't seen them all. But either way, it's nice. It's nice to see them going back into the woods, regardless.
I think it was a little bit of a gamble. I'm sorry to interrupt, but it was a little bit of a gamble for him to do it at all because I still don't know if enough time has elapsed since Blair Witch for this to be original again. But maybe just enough.
Yeah. I mean, Blair Witch came out in '99, so it's been at the time of the release of the movie, it's been 14 years. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
But I mean, how long did it take for people to start making shark movies again?
yeah,
Instantly.
Instantly, yeah.
yeah. The Italians started
Literally,
ripping
yeah.
that shit
Yeah,
off
welcome.
immediately.
That's true.
And
Check out Great White.
And in America, they weren't making shark movies. They were just taking. They were just.
What fuck?
I was gonna play a video, but sorry, I didn't mean to.
They were just taking other animals and remaking Jaws almost like exactly.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Orca.
Alligator. for
There's an
example.
alien movie out right now, I think called Alien Abduction, that actually takes place in the woods too. The last broadcast.
Unfortunately, I
Cabin
felt
in the Woods.
that I kind of they kept on bringing up the Patterson Gimlin footage
Incident at Loch
of
Ness.
Bigfoot back in 1967, and I kind of wish. I mean, that's public domain shit. So I kind of wish they kind of integrated that footage into the film at some point. I was waiting and I was hoping, and it never did. So that was kind of a disappointment. Not that it matters that much, but it would have been nice to see what these guys were, what the two documentarians were talking about, for the younger viewers who don't know about this footage. And but I did like the characters, as Wolfie said about the dialogue that was used. I thought it was very well used. It wasn't overly swearing, like Blair Witch Project, where every other goddamn word was fuck, 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 fuck.
Or
You
the
know?
show.
Or you.
Or your last review.
So I'm in close to like 6 or 7 like found footage movies that I know you've seen that's happened in the woods. So do you want to recant that statement?
Not right now. I'm too busy.
Like I'm only at Troll Hunter, so like I'm sure that
Troll
there's
Hunter,
more.
Yeah. Hey, some
I'm
slip
too
your head.
deeply invested to admit the obvious.
Yeah. Damn it.
11 to 12 slipped my mind.
Hey, raise your hand if you want a Bigfoot burger.
yeah.
You know what? I
Oh,
could,
yeah, that
I
foot?
Could, yeah, those fucking Bigfoot burgers. I want 2 of those, man.
go.
Those
Let's-
those look fucking
Let's
good.
go.
Go.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's only in California.
Do we know if they? We don't. I don't think. But does anybody know if they actually did the murals and everything for this?
No, I think that
movie?
this that,
Those have to be genuine. I mean,
Yeah,
I think so. I really do.
I
And
think
that's
this is the
fucking crazy.
Roswell of Bigfoots. This little town.
Yeah,
here.
I think so. It's,
Yeah.
it's very interesting. You know,
I mean,
It
Bigfoot
would be interesting
Motel.
to
I
know.
mean, there's a big sign there. It says Bigfoot Motel, and it doesn't look like this is made on a very large budget. So, I'm willing to believe that everything in there is real. The
I'm gonna
the
look
giant
it up right now.
the
and then
giant
when
wood
my turn
statues.
comes, I'm gonna
Two
pretend like I knew the whole time.
2 VHS segments.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, put your shit away. All right.
Don't-
Like I said before.
Don't
like
slow
I said
me down
before,
with facts.
Like I said before, I love the characters' names of Sean L. White Guy Sr. and Bucky Sinister. Those are 2 great character names. I want one of those names. And but to get back to the film itself, I felt that between the time between the time that they're making the journey. Between the time they're making the journey to the woods and the time they're in the woods, I think is a little bit lopsided. But in a way, it kind of works in their favor because the
Hold
fact
on,
that
do you
they're
hear that? I thought I heard something banging together.
oh,
What was that?
2 pieces of wood, I think.
It's weird.
What's happening right now?
Oh shit!
I don't like this at all.
Ravenshadow, fix your fucking mic.
Oh, shit. Bigfoot.
Jesus Christ.
Bigfoot attacked.
Bigfoot did that.
Bigfoot did that.
It's
a weird mic.
So in a way, it kind of works in their favor because given the short running time, they spend about maybe 35 minutes, roughly about 35 minutes in the actual area itself. And like I said, it works in their favor because if something is actually going to be there that doesn't want it to be there, they're going to start attacking immediately.
Yeah.
And it pretty close. It happens pretty close around that time too. So, otherwise, it's not going to wait the usual. Oh, we're going to wait overnight, then the daytime, then nighttime. Things, shit's going to start breaking out. It doesn't do that. It starts breaking out on the very first night, which
Oh,
shit.
Whoa.
And I thought, despite the fact that I thought that the time to know about the characters took too long, knock it off, Tiny.
It's not tiny. It's Bigfoot.
It's fucking Bigfoot.
Or that fat naked girl.
It's Tiny Foot.
No, it's not her.
So I think it works in their favor. The tent scene during
I think there were a lot of tense scenes.
no
There were.
yeah. many intense
The whole
scenes.
movie
Oh, it was quite the tensest.
Oh Lord, this is quite the tensest. That scene ran. How long would you say that scene ran?
20
for?
minutes.
I'm gonna
I'd
guess
say
yeah.
about 14
20,
minutes,
yeah.
A little
15
long.
minutes.
I think 16 minutes and 28 seconds. is my
And
guess.
$1.
How many
It
smokes,
also-
Ravenshadow? How many smokes
and
was that?
2.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of wavering back and forth between they use this scene either to pad out the running time of a very brief movie, or B, to extend the intensity of what's going on here, or both.
if you think if you think that was the money of the whole movie.
Oh
if
no,
you
I
think that they
understand
were-
that. I understand that, but I mean, there's a difference between making it say like a 10-minute scene and making it a 14 or 15-minute scene. I think it could have gone a little shorter. It was a very good scene. Don't get me wrong, and I think it was completely improv as well as a lot of other scenes in this movie. But but like I said, it goes by the way of Blair Witch Project, as well as far as the interviews that they take with the people, weird people coming up to them saying, "Don't go in there," being the crazy Ralph character, saying, "You're all doomed," which was okay, but I felt that the payoff wasn't that great. I was really hoping for a decent payoff. I was really hoping to see something, and unless I missed it the first time around, I don't know. I just really kind of felt like I got shortchanged at the end. But a lot of other things gel together in this film really, really well. It's just the payoff I don't think did it for me that much, and so there.
All right, Dynamo, you want to go next?
Sure. Let's just let the fucking Yeti out of the bag here. Like, I would have liked a little bit Bigfoot, just a bit.
You want this song?
Yeah. I watched the movie called Willow Creek. I've been wanting to see it for a week. I had a good time until that scene made me shit my pants. This guy's the fucking best.
Yeah.
He's John West.
That's how I was thinking that too. And is he wearing an ICP T-shirt?
No, he's wearing a
No,
Bigfoot.
it's fucking Bigfoot shirt.
Oh, it looks like the green cod before Malenko.
Riddle box.
There you go.
Blew it. That's all right, man.
So, there you go. All right,
Fucking blew
continue.
it.
Yeah, he did blow
Fucking
it.
ate shit. So yeah, I would have liked to have seen a little bit of Bigfoot. The scene that we keep talking about in the tent was probably the best scene I've seen this year that wasn't in Blue Ruin. I found this woman attractive, and she reminded me of... I found this woman attractive, and I kind of hated her. And I couldn't really figure out why. There's a part of me that thinks it's because she reminds me of an ex-girlfriend of mine. And then there is... I think maybe just that both these people were fucking kind of obnoxious. Despite the fact this guy was such a douchebag, I kind of did believe it. This also goes back to my number one horror complaint in 2014. Which, let me break this down for you. These movies are happening in some alternate cinematic universe, right? Do we all agree on that? Okay.
It's not real life.
All right. So it would make you think that there's probably some proxy for similar cinema, right?
Right.
So in a world where there's been 22...
In a world.
Yeah, where there's been 22 Nightmares on Smith Street, like all the Foam and the Foam sequels, and like a half dozen, Saturday the 14th. What dumb motherfuckers are going to go into the woods unarmed? Even a baseball bat.
Right.
Yeah,
Give me
I
a
know.
baseball bat to carry down the fucking path with you, like a fucking Gandalf stick. Like something,
Well, especially if you're going to look for a freaking
monster,
Sasquatch.
right?
Yeah. And you go in completely unarmed. Yeah.
Legitimately hoping to find it.
Right. Exactly.
And going unarmed and going completely.
It's like Ahab leaving without a harpoon, right? Even if your weapon was to just document that it is, like how much of I'm sure this was a similar statement to say Cannibal Holocaust, where they were saying that the people didn't have a respect for the environment, but it just kind of takes me right out of the movie.
Right.
Like, even though this guy is obviously the fucking stupidest person since stupid people came to stupid Movieville, like,
Can
really
I interject just for a second here, because it's right on the tail of what you're talking here. I think if he had a gun, right, and used it, like ineffectually used it, it would have really justified, let's say, the whole rest of the movie.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
like, you kind of, without any spoilers, you kind of see, understand what I mean,
right?
Yeah,
because why else would that? Well, I don't know. Why else would it play out like that? I guess because I don't know. I don't necessarily see the motivation, I guess, is what I'm saying, other than the sort of natural laws of
Let me interject here real quick too. I just went through real quick. The scene was 22 minutes long in the tent. It's
Yeah,
actually
sounds-
Wow,
sounds
which
right.
is interesting because it's longer than we all thought. So that means it actually
Yeah.
worked pretty well, I would
Yeah.
imagine, because
Yeah.
it didn't seem as long as it was.
It did.
Does that includes the pauses where they go black or not?
Yes, that's from the
Okay.
very beginning when he turns the camera on
Yeah.
until he turns it off and it's day. It's
22 minutes.
22 minutes and
Okay.
20 seconds.
Wow.
Because
feel
I
like
mean, and to be fair, there's a couple cuts, right? So there's
Yeah, there
the
is a fade to
orig-
black where they shut the light off.
Yeah, he shuts.
Yeah.
he shuts
Did
the
you
light
hear
off.
that? There's the did you hear that piece,
Yeah.
and then it's a cut, and they're sleeping. Then they wake back up, and then there's a cut to black, and then there's the light back on,
Right.
and they're doing the whole.
I
thing.
know a million of these fucking guys though that would be like, when they should be fucking running, they're still filming or grabbing, samples or whatever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah. My point about that, if I went to go do this, I mean, obviously not Dynamo and Tiny because they come prepared with weapons, but
I think you were going to justify my point because you're one of those fucking guys.
well, I don't have a gun. I don't know how to get a gun. I wouldn't want to have
I
a
can
gun.
get you
I
one.
could get you a gun, man.
You got a
You're right.
baseball? You don't got a
Right
bat?
now.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, I
I
have
know
a
a few
bat.
guys.
I guess maybe I'd bring something like that. I wouldn't bring a gun.
Would you put him in a figure 4 leg lock?
Yeah, I just use my wrestling prowess.
But here's my question for you: would you go to hunt a wild animal without someone who was prepared to defend you? No, because you're
No,
not
I
dumb.
wouldn't.
Right. So, but if you had to go by yourself, if not a gun, you would take measures to defend yourself, right? It only
Yeah,
makes sense. You
Fucking
don't.
pepper spray and axe.
Yeah, you don't walk down the middle of a highway without in like a fucking ninja outfit, or you're gonna get hit by a car.
You
Like
give him some Jack Link's beef jerky or something.
Yeah.
No,
That's
and he
what
ain't
you
going
do.
to a fucking campground. You might have to cut down
Yeah.
a tree up in this motherfucker. You know what I mean? And you got a fucking hot chick with you, and you where the fuck are you? You know, there could be some
Yeah.
inbred. What the fuck? That was weird.
Why?
What the fuck is that about?
You don't. See,
Nobody, they can't see.
You know what? So there was a payoff in this
Yeah,
movie.
what does
What
that
you
mean?
did see, a lot of people got really upset over, and it's you don't know who that is.
No.
This girl is really excited about being abducted.
Why is she there?
You don't remember from when they were filming the missing poster in the restaurant?
Yeah, remember that?
Kinda. I mean,
They made like a big joke on it, and were like, "Oh, she's really happy to be missing," because they had a
Oh, yeah,
picture
yeah,
where
yeah,
she's
yeah.
smiling.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's. So what was Bigfoot doing? Oh, okay.
What it's
Relations.
like, knocking boots, I guess.
But what, did he bring her out though?
He
Knocking das
kidnapped
Foots.
her. She'd been missing.
Maybe it
Oh.
wasn't Bigfoot. Maybe it was just.
This you have to
dudes.
think like it's not that he dragged her out for
Wait,
these people.
isn't this like big spoiler territory right here?
Well, it's you're right. It's huge spoiler territory.
Watch fucking Blue Ruin.
It's like in the last scene of the movie.
Yeah.
The payout is.
Man, though this one time you can't blame me. I was goaded.
Yeah, I know you were baited into it. Fair enough.
Who's
yeah.
masturbated into it.
They were
You-
there's nothing like that's out of place here except for the
Yeah.
people. The people went to Bigfoot's home and set up a tent in the middle of his living room. Maybe the middle of his bedroom. So yeah, I really like this movie too. I wasn't sure if I was going to because I
Talk
didn't read.
about an upgrade though, right?
How do you mean
Am I
from
right?
Leprechaun?
No. Talk about an upgrade for the Sasquatch.
Sasquatch gets an upgrade.
Well, I feel bad because there is apparently. Yeah, I almost did it again. But anyway, I really, really enjoyed this. Like, I think that it was, oh yeah, Tiny, that definitely was an upgrade.
No doubt.
Yeah, like, while I didn't want to go out with that girl anymore, it's perfectly good for Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Uh,
yes, exactly.
Like, here's what I think is, but the other than the weapon thing, I really don't have a complaint about this film because it wasn't just dumb kids where they didn't belong. It wasn't even like people hiking, even though I know hiking's a thing, you know what I mean? I get it. I know a lot of fucking people who do it, but like as soon as you make that choice, my head's out of it because it's fucking alien. You know what I mean? Like that's the same thing as like just trying to swim to a different continent, like just running like fucking running down Hampton Beach into the ocean and just start fucking swimming. As far as I'm concerned, like that's how fucking weird and crazy
That
of
is
an idea
crazy.
that
For
is.
somebody to go running down the beach and start swimming, fucking idiots.
Whoa.
Without
Well,
a
for
machete
Dynamo.
or
Well,
a
no,
spear
like
gun?
if they're yeah, but if they're trying to get to, Antarctica from Hampton Beach, that's a bad idea.
Yeah,
Swim up the coastline.
For Dynamo, swimming is a bad idea.
Yeah, at all.
Yes.
But when you put yourself in the wilderness at all, it doesn't make any sense. But I guess if you were there, like being there for a reason, like even that shitty Frankenstein theory movie, like okay, I understand why you're there.
Right.
It wasn't a good movie. Troll Hunter, I understood why those guys are fucking out in the woods with lanterns
Troll
on
Hunter
their
is
head.
my jam right there.
Yeah. By the way,
Number
which
two?
happened in the
Number
woods.
2 coming up.
Yep. Troll Hunter happened in
that.
the woods.
So you've mentioned.
Yeah. 2 VHS
Fuck all these
segments.
other movies.
So, while all Bigfoot movies generally happen in the city, and this one, brought it into the woods, I really enjoyed this one.
What was that?
What was that? Did you guys hear that? What's that? Ravenshadow, what is it?
I think it's that big girl next door.
Bigfoot's got rhythm. We should sign him up.
Like he's kind of better than Aries on the Broncos.
Wait, where is Aries?
Huh?
Where is Aries?
He's going to be at my house at 4 o'clock tomorrow to move a TV. He's going to be disappointed if I forget to call him.
Tiny, why don't you speak on this film?
In public.
Okay.
In pubic.
The beginning of this movie was a little slow, but man, I really enjoyed the scene. I should be able to say her name. That would be nice if I actually said the name of people while I'm reviewing the movie. Alexi Gilmore.
She played Kelly.
I couldn't get enough of her on the screen. So
I believe that's
the
Alexi
beginning
Gilmore's
of this
jacket.
movie was tolerable in that sense for me. But man, that was quite a lead-in, definitely, without a lot of exposition, I guess. Like, I guess you understood the relationship with the two characters a little bit.
Mhm.
I was a little surprised, though. I mean, it seems, given their dynamic and all, it seemed like they lived together. The whole like reveal, like she's like, oh, let's like move in together first. Like, I don't know, like the setup of this movie in that statement in the middle of the movie, like that they weren't already living together and like had an established relationship, was a little discontinuous to like it didn't have continuity to me.
Yeah.
Well, you were
You know,
shocked because they weren't married. You don't like premarital sex, Tony.
I like it. It's just over.
You like postmarital sex.
Exactly. Yeah. But man, what a Foxx, seriously.
Really? You thought so?
I really did, truly. Yep.
Really?
I thought she was an excellent actor. I mean, I didn't love the character that she was acting, but Foxy, definitely. But and Jesus, Bryce Johnson doesn't he look like the freaking dude from The American Office? Or the U.S. I can't remember who the freaking guy is. I was trying to like piece it together. He's got the same freaking nose. It was very distracting. But anyway, I like this movie a lot. It was, I think, excellent until the end, and then I felt like it was a little lazy at the end. Like I think some movies are written from the end backwards, and some are written from the middle out, and some are written from the beginning to the end, right? This one, I think, was written from the middle out in both directions. I think that they knew that they were going to have that anchor scene in the middle, and then they needed to figure out how they were going to get there and what was going to happen afterwards. That's what it felt like to me. Yeah, they needed to establish the relationship of these two characters so that they could deal with that in the middle.
Mhm.
The whole like proposal thing and the whole.
If you'll
The
pardon me,
the
though, for a second, I think that probably a big part to the initial, even pitch, he obviously made it himself. He didn't sell it to anybody. Like, was to get these interviews with these crazy people that really believe.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
You know?
And I can see that definitely. But I just don't feel like this movie. I really don't feel like this movie finished big. And it could have, I don't know. I guess it finished mysteriously, I guess, which is fine, and there was somewhat of a punchline there with the howls at the end and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. The acting in that middle scene is above reproach. It was excellent as far as I'm concerned.
Mhm.
Really, really great. And some of the scenes leading up to that were acted very well. I think she did a great job with her scenes in the car and stuff like that. She just really seemed to roll with it like a real person would in that circumstance. You know, the awkwardness of somebody pointing a camera at you excuses some of the weird behavior, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think it just read really, really well. Like they just felt really comfortable, you know, dealing with each other, and the camera created a way for the awkwardness to become realistic. You know, that degree of separation.
The scene where she was starting to cry about how I want to go home. I don't know, man. I wasn't sold on that scene. I thought she was just bursting out some crocodile tears. I wasn't sold. I really wasn't sold on it. I really wasn't sold on it.
Why?
On that acting in that scene, I just wasn't sold on it. I looked at it and I'm like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me.
You know,
I think she was She was like smiling and laughing, but I think it was hysteria.
Hysteria. Well, you know what? I don't think so, man. I just didn't think.
What
it was
would
a
have
very
been
good
better?
performance.
Like, what would have been a better performance there?
How about this?
If all of a sudden she was like,
Wait, give us your performance. Do it.
yeah, all of a sudden she's like, down in Willow Creek, do, I sprung a leak. what else is to do?
No, I just wasn't sold on her performance in that scene alone.
I want you to pretend that you're gonna get raped by Bigfoot.
I want you to cry, and I want you to cry a lot.
Why are you so fat? Remember when you were a little girl and you're fat?
Were you that kid, Egg? No, I just beat him up.
Next.
Oh man.
You know what might be interesting, Johnny?
What?
If we could get the Rosetta Stone to translate one of those Bigfoot moans.
Oh, let's see if I haven't turned it on in a while. Let me see if I can.
I think
Still working?
I don't know if it does it know Yeti.
Yeah, I'm sure it knows Bigfoot.
Does that even mean? Does that stuff even mean anything?
Maybe I'm Mos Eisley.
Yeah.
Well, does anyone have a recording on the sound?
I think there's one on the other. I think there's one on mic 3. Like this.
Tiny.
Will it interpret Bobcat Goldthwait?
Tiny, can you call up the
You want me to make the Bigfoot sound?
No, I want you to call it up.
That sound?
No.
Can it translate that?
Two claps and a twist.
2 claps and a twist.
I can't. It's not going to mean anything when I say it. I mean, I can imitate
You don't know.
it, but it's yeah. I don't know what I'm saying.
Isn't there a Yeti there though? I thought I heard him.
Here, let me.
I could say something that offended the entire Yeti community. I'm not going to just go spouting out howls right now.
Here, let me see if I can get something here. I'll go ahead. And
She is foxy.
She's cute.
She did remind me of her attitude reminded me of a girl that I dated briefly that I want to fight.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, a little bit. I can see that.
We're watching the movie.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, we're
okay.
trying to get the sound so we can translate it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
It's really close right now.
Probably
That guy has
outside.
like a Chris Isaac thing to him.
Yeah. He was a fucking doorknob, huh?
What?
He was a fucking
Yeah.
doorknob.
And you saw his fucking junk in the water, man. Who needed to see that shit?
You did.
This girl,
I
the
don't think
main
so, man.
actress, kind of reminded me of a mixture of Catherine Isabel and somebody else I can't put my finger on. Like she had like these very distinct, like facial expressions.
Isabel.
Man, fucking wait for this fucking Bigfoot
I'm gonna wait for
sound.
22
I know.
minutes.
We got 22 minutes to wait, man.
No, I jumped ahead. Wait, here it is. I think.
It's fucking close, though, right?
It's close.
That's
fairly.
that's close.
It's real close.
My one regret is
Wait,
that I
here it
didn't
is.
watch this.
Did you guys hear it?
Yeah. Dynamo's
That was
stomach
the-
when he
that was
hasn't
the
eaten in
groan.
17 minutes.
There was the groan, the howl, and the hoot, right?
Yeah. The groan, the howl, and the hoot.
The groan. That's my new band.
Wait, there it is. There it is.
Wait, that's my current band.
Is it anything like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
Be quiet. All right, I was able to capture that. Let's
Okay.
see.
Okay.
God damn it. I had my own plumper all ready to go, and these people set up in the middle of my bedroom. When I get done with these guys, I'm going to find that fucking tiny white for stabbing me in New Hampshire's.
Wait, it's the Yeti?
That's who was in the Bigfoot movie, was the Yeti?
That was the fucking Yeti?
Wow.
No one.
Oh my God! Now it all makes sense.
Jeez.
No wonder...
He said a lot with just that quick little thing.
It's a weird language.
Wait, let me see if we can translate this. Hold on. See if this works. Wait.
If you could just stand over here and please pretend that you're terrified. Try to remember something that really bothered you in your youth.
Interesting.
What are you, a nut? I'm a vegetarian.
Let's get to work. Come on, dudes, chill out.
David Spade?
Yeah.
You dudes are setting a bad example.
Can't hear you, bro. Can't you see I'm getting my beauty sleep?
Oh, I'm sorry. Move it! You sure told them. Did you ever think about, like, maybe getting some contact lenses or something else, you know? You look good.
It's a fucking movie.
You had him there just for like a minute. He was scared. He was like flinching. His face went.
What are you, a nut?
Oh man, fucking Bobcat.
Fucking Sweet Chuck.
All right, Tiny, do you?
Dear listeners, we're sorry we listened to Bobcat Goldthwait for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
This is the shit that other podcasts cut out.
We're live. We don't cut anything out now.
The irony of all this time waste is we...
Oh. The irony is, hold on.
The best line in cinema history.
I like that one. I like that. Now I could wear that anyway. It feels good to be back here at the Club Tokyo. Hi, how you doing? Where are you from? What do you do for a living? 9 o'clock? Shit! 9 o'clock! God damn it!
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
We're watching One Crazy Summer, by the way.
Oh, William Hickey.
Yeah. You guys wait. We'll tell you when it's over.
Yeah.
William Hickey, when you can't get George Burns.
Exactly.
I think I just got a text. This is some mighty fine radio. For those of you in the audience who are wondering why we don't do commentaries.
Sorry, we just had to indulge in some Bobcat Goldthwait. So, all right.
Holy sheep.
Yep. Holy sheep in a Shanghai basket.
Yes.
Bobcat.
Mitch Hedberg pulled more than like one page out of his book.
Bobcat made one of the very funny video for Matt Nathason's kink shirt.
Oh, man, that's funny.
Who's next, John?
All right, Tiny, well, you're all set.
Yeah, let's go on. Yep.
All right, Ravenshadow, you're last.
Yeah, I mean, all the clips we just saw were really fucking funny. Treat.
What?
One Crazy Summer,
Did
Police
we miss
Academy
something?
2.
Yes.
No. I was sucked in. I was locked in on this one.
What the fuck is that? I have a browser open that's making browser. Speaking of Police Academy.
That's going to come back around for the next movie.
Yeah.
Anybody else catch what I'm talking about?
No.
We will. Next movie.
Okay.
I do agree, though. The payoff seemed to really kind of come quick.
Kind of like you.
We're talking about Willow Creek.
Did Wife and Shadow give you that line?
Down in Willow Creek, Michael Ravenshadow, he done sprung a leak.
No,
you just don't know what to do with the old Bigfoot show.
So this was like a real fucking place, right? All this shit was like fucking real?
Yes.
Yes.
This
Yeah,
is
the
all real.
woods were real. It wasn't
No, I mean
on
like all
set or
the
anything.
structures.
Ravenshadow can't see that thing that we call reality.
Yep.
He doesn't really understand that there's a life outside of a smoker kitchen.
There's also a basement and a shed. Yeah, I kind of wish at that moment when they were doing their Blair Witch tent scene, like maybe like the dude could admit like I'm a fucking douchebag and I was wrong to take my girlfriend here. You know, like it seemed like he was definitely an idiot. The poor judgment of the proposal. You felt like really awkward. It was, you know, like, dude, fucking now is not the time for that.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's funny that everyone else says Blair, like, and we, invoke a frightening found footage film, but you say Blair, and we think the snob from Facts of Life for some reason.
What did I say?
Just your infliction, you're like, Blair, Trudy.
His infliction?
Infliction.
Yeah, it's not the Blair Warner Project. It's the Blair Witch Project.
Oh, I fucking wrote that script when I was fucking 9. Then Joe shows up on her bike.
Oh, Bobby Chains is hanging out in chat, and he says, "First night I listen live, and I get this shit."
Hey,
Down at Willow Creek.
yeah, but you know what? At the end of the day, I did like it, but it was the fucking Blair Witch Project. It really was, beat for beat, right? And
Why didn't you say I like this movie better when
When it was called
the Blair Witch Project.
the Blair Warner Project.
So not Cannibal Holocaust?
Well, no, because they didn't have tents. Do they have tents in that?
Yeah, no, they did.
Was it in the
Where do you
forest?
think they fucking, it was in the jungle?
I don't
different.
I don't think it had tents.
You know what's
Where
fucking
did-
scary?
where
With,
did they sleep?
you know what's scary with the fucking forest? Ticks. Ticks are fucking scary.
They didn't take precautions. Did
There's
they?
no off.
Yep. Lyme disease,
Yeah.
Yeah, not good.
No, it's bad.
Rye syndrome, right?
Right, MZ? Lyme disease, not good.
Not good.
Even though you never had it.
What about
That's true.
mosquitoes? West
I
Nile,
thought-
Triple E,
I thought I had it, but
Triple X.
Triple X.
Yeah. But it confused me. Thank you for clarifying the naked girl. That was weird. But
whoa. Well, I guess we spoiled it already, so.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
it just happened too quick. I watched that last scene twice because it
She's
went
put
from...
on a couple. She put on a couple. I mean,
She's well fed.
it
in the
sucks
forest.
to be raped by a yeti, right?
A lot of protein.
I don't know, Tiny. You
But-
tell us.
But she's eating.
You will
She's
find
eating
out.
That's a good sample
You get
forever right there.
You get a lot of protein.
Yeah, I don't know. It lost me. It lost me.
Shoot a load off Yeti. Shoot a load. Shoot a load off Yeti on the girl's face. She's missing.
Where would she have shopped if she were to shop for clothing?
Oh shit, the dress bomb.
You got a baby that's big as Seattle cattle playing with his rattle? You gotta go to Dress Bond, Baby Bond. All the chickens in the coop that can't fit in a hoop. Well, you get them barrel for your big fat kid Daryl. Carol, where do you get it? Over at the dress barn. If your parents tell you that you're really shopping at Grant's, but you eat more of the picnic than the ants, you gotta go to the dress barn.
All right, we're beating a dead horse.
Yeah, a dead Yeti.
When in doubt, though, that's how far back we had to go to the fucking dress barn to try to save this.
Yeah, put Buster on. Let's wrap it up.
All right, let's go to the verdict.
Trick or treat, baby. I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, so let's go ahead and give this the verdict. We're going to tell you folks whether we think it's a trick or a treat, and if we have any final thoughts, we will give them to you. I think this was a fucking treat. I was surprised. I don't know why. I wasn't expecting much. I love Bobcat. I love his acting. I love his comedy. And
I wasn't expecting much, but I love you, Bobcat.
so far, I love his films as well.
Thank you.
But I don't know. I think I'm just down on the whole found footage thing, and this was a little bit. He kind of revived it a little bit for me, and I actually really enjoyed this. And I think it definitely was one of the most realistic found footage films I've seen, at least lately.
But was
especially.
it found? I mean, that's quite right.
What?
Well, if we saw it,
was it?
Yeah,
we know
saw
how
it.
this. We saw that. We know how the movie ends, right? Is this found footage?
What do you
unless
they're
I
don't want to give away.
live.
Then how do we
I don't
know?
want to give away. I don't want to give away
Maybe
too much
this
without
maybe this is a new genre. Maybe this is unfound footage.
live footage.
How did we see it?
How do we
Tony?
see it, Tony? Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the mystery.
We found it. We found it on Castle Wolfenstein last week.
But did they really find it?
Well, maybe somebody got away.
I think the thing though about
Maybe.
this, I think the thing about this film is you can tell it was all Bobcat, because if there was a studio behind this, I don't think they would have gone for, you can't have a film without a score, or you can't do this and that.
Yeah.
I really think that him going all in like that was a bold move, because it's not something that's done very, very frequently. And I think that paid off big time with this film, because it made it more believable. It set the tone for the entire film, and I think that's what really was engaging for me, and that's why I was bought in, was that there's no phantom cameras. It was just the one camera at all times, and no film score. It just was, and everything was just really well done and really realistic, and this just had me sold completely, and I loved it, and I'd probably want to watch it again, like within the next few weeks, just to soak it in again. Maybe I'll show it to T-Dog. But yeah, I liked it. Who's next? MZ?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we keep on going back to the Blair Witch Project, and
the Blair Warner Project.
The Blair. Girls.
You do a good Mrs. fucking Garrett, man.
Yeah.
See how good he does, Mrs. Garrett.
Well, thank you, Ravenshadow.
MonsterZero, you toss my cookies better than Mr. Drummond did.
Dynamo, would you like to come over to my house and toss my salad?
Yes.
It would be a good time.
Oh my God.
I bet you didn't expect to see me in the forest in this movie.
But it was, as I said before, and Dynamo also said as well, it would have been nice to have seen some Bigfoot. Now, see, the thing is with Blair Witch, it was a ghost, It was a ghost. So you weren't supposed to see anything, and it's best that you don't see anything.
Am I the only one that pictures the Blair Witch looking like Janis Joplin?
Probably.
Ooh. No, I can see that.
Probably. And but here you got something tangible. It's out there. It's living, and it's breathing, and it's coming after you. Even just 1 second of film. Just 1 second of film would have had me hooked on this film. Because it didn't have anything, it lost me quite a bit, because I just feel that after all that, especially that 22-minute tense scene,
in the tent.
It had me hooked, and then when there was no payoff, it lost me. And I just feel like if it just gave me 1 second, man, just 1 second, and it would have been a treat. But I gotta say, it's a tepid trick.
Whoa. You threw me off there.
And I love found footage films.
The genre, I know you love the
genre known as
the found footage genre.
Yes.
Bobby Chains in chat room says Ravenshadow looks like hepatitis tonight.
Nice.
What the fuck does that mean?
All right, Dynamo.
You know what they should have done to make the Bigfoot come out?
Give it some Jack Link's beef jerky.
Nope. Sing Bigfoot, come out and play. Bigfoot, I want to see you today. Bigfoot, big old feet. Bigfoot, 20 pounds of hanging meat.
Yes.
Classic.
I'm waiting for Dynamo to attach himself to that 20 pounds of hanging meat.
It's already attached to my between my legs.
Oh, please. The biggest thing you pull out of your pants every day is your gut.
Oh, man. It's kind of like rough on like 3 levels.
I wasn't upset I didn't see Bigfoot because I do a fucking show with one every single week. I give this movie.
He's a Sasquatch.
I give this. It looks like somebody's been dragging 2 bowling balls in a sack through the mud. I give this movie 3.5 Goonie Goo Goos out of 4. And it's a treat. Whoa, and my chair broke.
Jesus Christ. That Dynamo's a midget. All right, Tiny, your verdict. Verdict, not a verdict. Verdict.
Fucking guys in the fucking language.
I'm a little bit on the fence about this movie, but for what it was really well done. I thought it was really well acted, and I credit a lot of the success of a lot of the scenes to the directing. So I'll still say treat, even though it was so borderline for me in certain places. But it's still, I would still watch it and recommend it.
All right, Ravenshadow.
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with a lot of what MZ said.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you did good. You're fucking smart this week. The acting was fine. The directing was fine. I didn't think about Bobcat Goldthwait being involved in this and watching it. I was sucked in.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
I just didn't, even knowing it, I didn't think about fucking Zed. But, yeah, taking it back to the Blair Witch one more time, it was supernatural machinations, so you could understand that there's forces that we don't understand.
I don't think we'll ever find the fucking witch. Well, make it a Sasquatch.
You know what I mean? Like, it might take a couple days for the hoary hosts of the netherworld to really sink their teeth onto the tent. But this is a beast, as mentioned before. If it's going to fuck you in your tent at midnight, it's going to fuck you in the tent at midnight. It's not going to wait for you to get
I think that's the name of our record, right?
The scary monster fucks you in the tent at midnight. It would have fucking sold some units.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's a prankster Bigfoot. No. He's already got
Well, I mean, how do you know? Maybe he just wants to fuck with people.
Yeah.
People go look for him all the time, you know? They don't.
Yeah.
We don't have too many people that go missing. Like, we don't get reports of, like, people missing all the time from...
Yeah, but you don't see him walking around with fake Bigfoot poop.
Wait, I get yelled at for doing that, and Dynamo said people get missing all the time.
They do get missing all the time.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
No.
So, like, why would the Bigfoot get that close to the fucking tent and be like, I'm just playing, I'll get you tomorrow, and bang aside, honey. Like,
how do we know it was Bigfoot?
He was afraid of the light.
It was definitely something that was two-legged that was walking around outside.
Gee, what else could that be?
it could have been the guy that was telling him to get the fuck out.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, why is he gonna grunt? When he's gonna, he's gonna
Maybe that
shoot
guy.
you?
Maybe that guy was a Sasquatch. Maybe they've evolved
to rednecks.
That'd be devolved.
I don't know. I just don't think
one
a beast.
evolutionary step up from the other. Yeah.
I don't think a beast is gonna let you wake up the next day. I think he's gonna go in there and get hog wild, and
But this thing was like tilling.
Yeah, but how do you
back
know?
In the 1800s.
How can you say that?
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the fucking picture, and I'm pretty sure that fucking guy.
That's a poster.
Well, isn't that the movie?
Yeah, but it doesn't actually have screaming faces all over its body.
Yeah, well, had we seen it on film,
That's you're thinking of Leviathan.
Here.
shit.
And like, look how big a person is compared to this
Yeah.
depiction.
Oh,
Or maybe,
I thought-
or maybe
I
it's
thought-
Freddy Krueger. Who knows?
That's not the scale, is it?
Jesus
No.
fucking Christ.
You know, you are really too stupid to insult. You know that?
What are you fucking talking? Really?
You are just too dumb to insult. You know?
You are.
You finally reached that point.
Let's go to fucking commercial. Barely a trick.
Gus, your wife said goony goo goo.
Really? Oh man. Okay. So we got 3 treats and 2 tricks.
And the motherfuckers come up with fish.
Bobby Chains wants to know how this movie holds up against Legend of Boggy Creek.
Ah, yes.
I'll tell you, Chains. Boom, boom, boom. Down at Boggy Creek. On down, on, and I sprung a leak. Boom, boom.
It's better than fucking Leprechaun.
Legend of Boggy Creek is stupid fun. You can't take that movie seriously. Whereas with a lot of found footage films, if not all of them, are meant to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
The genre known as the found footage genre.
You're making a lot of broad, sweeping statements about things that may or may not be true.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's not untrue though.
Like all found footage movies are meant to be taken seriously, and don't happen in the woods.
I'm not saying I'm saying that the approach that the film is taking is meant to be taken seriously.
What about the VHS? Like most of the VHS
Oh
ones.
man, I can't take that shit seriously.
I
But
don't even know why
I'm
to
going.
talk.
No. But I'm making a joke. I'm going off on that one. I know. No, but that one.
What? What's going on?
Bow, 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 down at Willow Creek.
MC was hit by a dart all of a sudden.
No, I mean, given the content, no, it has to do with the content that's involved. You know, it has to do with the content.
He was like, "Wait a minute, did my parents actually take me to the dress barn and not?"
I went to Maurice the
I
Pants
thought it was
Man.
Maurice's. I didn't question the
All
lovers
right.
in the back.
All right, we need to
we gotta go.
wrap
Like,
up.
that's why that big pair of pants was there.
We need to wrap up this review.
Yeah, let's get to the
He's
next
like,
film,
"I'm in the
John.
changing room, not the
All right.
front."
Dynamo, before we move on, since that was our featured review, why don't you go ahead and tell the folks what's going to happen?
Not now.
next? Yes, now. What the fuck is going on? He's drank a double gulp in like an hour.
Wow.
Tiny, we got to do something about this.
What's in that double gulp?
Absinthe.
Hopefully strychnine. I don't know. I don't even know what they're laughing about.
He's like, "Well, actually."
Oh my God,
Jesus Christ.
Johnny, let's just get to the next.
Enjoy the show, Chains.
Big question here. Who would win in a fight, Bigfoot or
The
the
dangerously aroused
Goblin?
goblin.
You know what? We didn't see either one of the motherfuckers.
That's true.
No, we saw that. Well, we saw the goblin. We saw not enough of the goblin, if you ask me.
Wait, did we see the goblin?
No.
No, we didn't. What the fuck? He's making shit up.
Know what noise that woman's stomach would make after she had a Bigfoot baby?
Oh, come on, Johnny.
Oh.
Yeah, the sexy dicks were cute for a minute.
So next, I'm so sorry I had a breakdown, folks. Next week, we are going to have a guest on. He is a filmmaker and a podcaster.
Bullshit.
That's true.
He's a dream maker and a heartbreaker.
You can't do both. There's
Yeah.
no way you can't do both.
No. Only Kari Andrews
Not
can
in
do
one.
that.
Not in one lifetime. You can't.
No, it's true. We are going to have all the way from Long Island, which is probably
Tiny knows that well.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to talk to him about how much of a shithole that place is. At least what you were in Stony Brook or wherever the fuck that was.
That's 20 minutes from Briarmere Farm. It's the best raspberry cream pie you ever had.
You are right about that. Remember when you had one shipped and how poorly that went, though?
Yeah.
happy anniversary, tiny wife. Yeah. We're gonna have Joe from the awesome podcast, The House of Horror. I love listening to these guys' show. They're a lot younger than even the younger dudes on this show, and they have a very interesting perspective on the cinema that we grew up with and kind of look at with an eye of nostalgia. They don't have any of that, and it's very interesting to hear what they say. On their latest episode, they reviewed The Den, and it was a great episode. Check this guy out. You're going to like him. He's going to fit in with us, I think. Both these dudes seem much nicer than us, actually, so I don't know that they'll fit in or have a good time, but I'm excited to have Joe on. I'm a really big fan of the show, and I'm not afraid to say that I'll be a little bit starstruck because I enjoy that show so much. So, yeah, it's good, and like I said, it's very different than us. They're actual real life film critics. Yeah. Being only Wolfie can have this claim to fame, but being like filmmakers themselves, they're even when I don't agree with them, their reviews are very insightful. But one thing that I find a kindred spirit with them is I suspect their accent to me sounds the same way that our accent sounds to them. Like that was what first attracted me to their show. Was a lot of shows you listen to are very like academic and everything else, and this really sounded like two angry New Yorkers talking about movies. So it's a good show. We're gonna have a good time, and we're going to review the film Lock.
Yes.
Nice.
The one that we've heard a lot about. Jay.
I think that will be a divisive review.
It might be.
I'd like to at least get a statement from Jay on that. Maybe something in the fib, or even just a direct contact with Wolfie. I know he's the one who made the overwhelming statement that it was better than Blue Ruin, which I would like to discuss that with him.
It's better than Van Helsing.
We'll find out.
You should definitely drop us a line next week because I always like to hear from Jay. And
yeah.
Maybe a voicemail. Can we get a shout out for a voicemail from Jay on that movie?
I'll also put a link to some of Joe's films next week on before coming into this on the fib.
I'm gonna guess at his last name.
It's Decanio.
Decanio.
Yeah, I'm like my kryptonite for pronouncing names, like pronouncing.
Pronouncing
them.
I guess
pronunciation.
I guess the cat's out of the bag here. That the second gulp in my double gulp was rum, huh? But like
it's tough to pronounce names with the 24 letters in your alphabet, though.
Mean.
What's the C with a line through the middle?
Yeah. I don't know what that is anyway. Yeah, like Italian names are my kryptonite. Like I do better with like crazy. Is that Lodge William and Bill Cosby?
I don't think it's Bill Cosby.
I can't see from here. I don't have my fake hipster glasses on.
It's Morgan Freeman.
At any rate, yeah, this should be a great show. We will be back to our old professional selves next week.
Professional?
Yeah,
I look forward
just
to
like
Leon. That movie. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it should be an interesting. I haven't seen it yet, Tanya. I know you have, but it should be an interesting one. It's Tom Hardy, and that's it.
Yeah.
One actor
and a car.
It's funny. I recognize all the voices. Has anybody else seen this already?
Nope, you're the only one.
No.
Really? Wow. Okay.
So
we'll talk about that more.
Yep. So we'll talk about that next week. So we're going to review Lock next week, and we're going to have Joe from House of Horror podcast. That'll be should be a good time. So let's cut to a break. We'll be back to review Psychomania.
The following message is a paid advertisement for the Cult of Muscle podcast. The Cult of Muscle. You're either in it or you're dead.
It's the dawning of a new age. The halls of Valhalla have been shuttered. The heroes of yore have either retreated to the shadows or taken to capering for the amusement of the small folk. Their past glories a distant memory. The barbells have been torn from their once puma-strong grips. The beards shorn from their square jaws, only to be transplanted onto flannel-clad, puny weaklings with fingers barely powerful enough to strum a ukulele. The time has come, my brothers, to to restore order from the chaos. No longer will our heroes be forgotten. No longer will their great deeds be viewed through a foggy lens of irony. Hear now our rallying cry as we scream it from the mountaintops, as we bellow it from iTunes and Libsyn and Facebook. It's time to join the cult, my brothers. So don your cloaks and enter the cult of muscle.
Hello, darlings. It's your favorite whiskey-drinking, litigious, singing, dancing fantasy girl. Want to reach out to me and the world's greatest monster-hunting multimedia organization, the Deadites? Log on to Facebook.com/The Deadites. It's got all the info you need to follow the world's greatest monster-hunting band, like live appearances, info on your favorite Deadite, music, and all the links you need to our new weekly multimedia and all our side endeavors. Too many letters on Facebook? That's okay, sugar. Just follow us on Instagram and Twitter @The Deadites. Hope to see you soon, and we'll leave the lights off.
We're back. I know it's sacrilege to fade that out when Ms. M's singing, isn't it?
Bone steady.
Yep. I can't stand up now.
But that's just because I amputated his legs. In the
Yeah.
break.
I'll just hop on my one good leg then. It'll
All right.
hurt, but I'll do it.
Hey, Tanya, do you want to do anything to set this up before we jump in?
I will say that I watched this movie for the first time
ever. I've been fucking with you guys.
First time this week. Yeah. When I lived down in Long Island and was getting Netflix like crazy, I must have taken in Jesus. Was it Long Island? I don't know,
Netflix
but it was at a
around
time
back
where
then?
I was watching probably 10 or 12.
Did they cut you off?
No. It was like one movie in. Maybe I dubbed it to VHS. Maybe I didn't.
I don't think Netflix was around back then.
Show me the proof. Yeah, it might have been in Medford. But this was a time.
Are
where
you
I was
asking
doing
me to bring that box of VHS over to the camera?
Yeah, that was shit.
Big Trouble in Little China, 4 rooms. It's all here.
That was like nice. That was like a production line at one point, definitely. But yeah, it was a fun time, definitely, because I was just chewing up movies like 2 or 3 in a day, and then a day turnaround, and then 2 or 3 more. That was definitely a good time for movie watching for me. It's when I watched most of the movies that I've seen, actually. But this is a movie that totally sideswiped me. Like, I was very surprised at the style and the sort of like Lovecraftian like edge to it, and like almost like a little bit of a Clockwork Orangey sort of feel to the main character and stuff. And I don't know, I just fucking love the shit out of it. It's a movie that has really stuck with me, and the soundtrack is amazing. It's got like that weird 70s like psychedelic vibe to the soundtrack, and the look of the character is just like quintessential. Like, you see it one time and it's stuck with you forever. Like you always know what that image is forever. Just a very surprising movie for me. I didn't expect it to be anything at all, and it turned out to be, I thought, really spectacular. Like real deep, and just a weird movie. Like a out in left field sort of movie. Sort of like trying a couple different angles, and maybe wasn't successful in being what it was maybe trying to be, but in the Meantime created something really unique and interesting. And it's also got a lot of vintage motorbikes, which I love.
You used to drive a motorbike, didn't you?
I did. I had a 1965 BSA Lightning.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah, 650. Beautiful.
I can't picture you on a motorcycle, dude.
You can't picture him smoking either.
He looked like Ichabod Crane. It was awesome.
Is this the music you speak of, Tiny?
This is my
It's the
joint.
very one, yeah. I think Patrick would be a big fan of this movie and or the soundtrack as well.
Psycho Patrick or Patsy?
Probably both, but Psycho Patrick is who I meant.
Well, because it's got Psycho in the name.
There you go. There you go. There you go. I think this would be right up his alley.
That was his finishing move, Psychomania, right?
No.
Psychomania's running wild.
Nice.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and here I'll read over the.
Should we
music.
say that this is the first of our unnamed fifth segment? Which I'm trying to get which I know I'm going to get fought on from being called staph infection picks.
That's pretty good.
Well, so yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to have a rotating segments. So the second segment of the show is going to be a rotating segment.
Unless we have a guest.
Yeah, all bets are off. We have a guest, but so what we're going to do is when we have this segment, whatever it's going to be called. By the way, if anyone has ideas for the name of it,
Ledger.
Go ahead and let us know on the Fib or podcast at trickortreatradio.com. Or even tweet us at the Deadites and let us know what you think. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to roll a 6-sided die. There's 5 of us on the show, so each one's going to get assigned a number, 1 through 5, and 6 is our wild card.
And by the way, for those of you wondering, I know that you can't see it on the Fib, but I have in my hand on my phone the wild card list.
Okay.
Which is 100 names.
100 names?
Yeah,
we know 100 people?
We'll roll a D10. No, like Jay's on here a lot.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Jay, Professor.
Ty West is on there.
So
Tarantino.
So we'll roll the 6-sided die. If it comes up wild card, then we'll get to randomly select a name from that list, from the wild card list, and then they get to pick a movie for us to review. So if one of us gets picked, then we pick a movie that we feel everyone else should have seen, or like in this case, Psychomania. Tiny's been talking about it for a super long time. None of us had seen it. So it was about high time we saw it. So let me quickly go through the IMDb page here. This film was rated PG.
Really?
Yeah. 1973 was when it was released. The original, it was also known as the Death Wheelers. So it could be under Psychomania or the Death Wheelers. It's listed as an action horror, which I guess it's kind of hard to classify.
Yeah.
But this film was directed by Don Sharp and written by Julian Zimet. Not
Adrian
Zimet. No, Zimet. And Arnaud Doucet. And it stars Nikki Henson, Mary Larkin, Anne Michelle, Roy Holder, Dennis Gilmore, Miles Greenwood, Robert Hardy, a bunch of other people. Synopsis we have here on IMDb is: a gang of young people call themselves the Living Dead. They terrorize the population from their small town. After an agreement with the devil, if they kill themselves firmly believing in it, they will survive and gain eternal life. Following their leader, they commit suicide one after the other, but things don't necessarily turn out as expected.
Yeah.
So MZ has to leave soon, so MZ, why don't you go ahead and kick us off?
Okay, yeah. Tiny is right about it having a lot of Clockwork Orange feel to it,
Yeah.
a lot of... what did you say earlier, Tiny, before then? I can't remember it.
You think Clockwork Orange?
Well,
think
not
the main
full.
character. The main character, I think, was vamping on.
it's sort of- yeah,
Well,
it's-
and plus it's a lot of English actors. I think is that for me is it was the big thing. Is some of them acted similarly, and it had a bit of a vibe to it. So I can see what you're saying, but I don't. It's certainly not like a ripoff or anything.
No,
like that.
it's more like an homage.
I don't
very
even-
light homage to it.
I mean,
I don't even know if it's a
no,
homage.
I don't think so.
I think
The Droogs weren't good people, and like these, I, for better or worse, like I found a lot of the Living Dead to be pretty likable, right? So
Yeah, I mean, all they really did was kind of like just like drive around in fields.
Yeah, they
you
really.
know.
I mean, all they did really was terrorized. They really didn't do anything that terrible. I mean, they broke a couple of windows here
Oh,
and there, but
they did. Okay, actually, they did worse after.
They ran over.
Well,
a baby.
yeah. Well, no.
That was
well,
when
yeah.
they were- that was later.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Somehow, when I see them riding their motorcycles through the stores, I can't help but thinking of Dawn of the Dead. When I saw that, I'm thinking,
Okay.
I can't help but think that George might have gotten that idea from this film. But yeah, all the characters are likable. I love the witchcraft, Satan, the Satan worshipping side of the film. It's not a film to be taken seriously at all. As good as it is, and as even though it's rated PG, you got to understand this is PG Britain. So while everything is like trying to be real rough and tumble, there is an upscale quality even to a biker gang like the Living Dead.
Can I say one thing to that statement?
Yeah.
It was 1973 PG, and Jaws was PG.
Yeah, but you're talking about 1973 PG Britain as opposed to 1975 PG American. And let's be honest, that Jaws should have been rated R. I mean,
why?
I feel like I had an aneurysm right now.
No, I'm fucking.
I don't want to get off track here, but I'll just make this
Why
statement.
should Jaws have been rated R, though? I agree. I mean, there's some.
Well, first of all, I mean, as far as I know, it's the only PG rated film that I can think of that shows a full blown nude woman.
Barely,
Clash of the
though.
Titans.
There
That's
you go.
Not that's not full blown nude.
She's naked.
She's topless. She's not naked.
But you don't really see like
Really?
You see,
I look
see
really
more
close.
of this. Well, all right, forget it. I can't argue with that. I guess.
I look very, very intently
I
to see if I could see a pie.
I stay up. I cut an hour of sleep out a night so I can write extra, and you're fucking freeze framing. Forget it. Keep going.
Okay. So
my life sucks.
So like I said, I mean it's a very likable cast of characters. I mean, as bad as they quote unquote bad as they're supposed to be, they're pretty likable. I thought what's his name? Nicky Henson. Is he he's the leader, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Tom. Yep.
Yeah. He looks back at this film and he hates this movie and he wishes it never was made. And I tend to disagree. I love this movie. I mean, it's not terrific. I mean, it's one of my. I mean, my all-time favorite. My all-time favorite biker movie is The Pink Angels.
I knew you were gonna fucking say that.
That's a movie you gotta see. It's so great. And another movie that's not to be taken seriously. And but I mean, it's trying to get on its evil side with the badass bikers and the Satan worshipping, but there's a real light tone to it. It's not to be taken seriously, and it's got a real almost like a Hammer type of quality to it, with like with a cutting edge to it when you're dealing with the bikers and everything like that. So I mean, that kind of mix up is actually pretty neat to me, and but it's just a fun movie. I mean, you're not supposed to take it seriously. It's the plot is very, very, very easy. There's nothing, there's nothing complicated or things that you have to read into in order to understand it. It's a very cut and dry film, and that's exactly what this is. And I enjoyed it a hell of a lot, and I'll be watching it again.
Ooh. So since you're not going to be around for the verdict, you want to just go ahead and just make it official?
Yeah, that's a treat. Pal.
All right.
All right.
All right, MZ is going to take off, so why don't you go ahead and say goodbye to the folks, and we'll continue on with the review once you do.
Yes, I can't wait to come in there next week. We're going to be talking to a dude or two, and we're going to be reviewing dude or two.
And the other one?
the
Skipper and Marianne.
And we're going to be discussing Locke. I can't wait.
Yeah.
And so with that, and Wolfie, Tiny, Dynamo, Ravenshadow.
Say bye to Chains, too.
Hey, Chains. Hey, buddy. Thanks for the DVD. It was awesome. I want to plug Bobby Chains, man.
Yeah. Whoa.
What do you want to do?
I'm going to give him a good plug-in.
Yeah, it's a soundbite.
Nah, he gave me a copy of Video Nasties, the definitive guide on each DVD.
He gave me a copy of his influence.
And it was an awesome set, and I implore anybody who is into the video nasty genre that you look into it, and you'll learn a bunch of things, as I did, and it has all the trailers to all the 72 video nasties. And once again, thank you, Bobby Chains, and look forward to seeing you again sometime soon. Until then, you guys, arrivederci, douchebags.
See you, MZ.
See you, bub.
Later, bros.
See you, bub.
And so Bobby Chains actually is hanging out in the chat room, and he said that that's the segment that we're talking about should be called Watch or Die.
Yeah, but sometimes somebody might not pick a movie.
That's true. Okay, well, that's one submission, so hopefully we'll get some others. Thanks for that, Bobby Chains.
Sure.
Tiny, I think I'm going to have you go last on this one, just because you recommended it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Dynamo, do you want to go next?
No.
All right, I'll go next then. So, I love the music first and foremost. It's so cool to hear the 70s throwback, and this is even this predates Goblin, I believe. 73
would have been right around the same time.
Maybe
right?
around the same time.
When was Dawn of the Dead?
78.
78. Yeah. So it's pretty damn early.
So, but it's got a fantastic score. This is definitely a product of the 70s for me, as far as like the 70s films I've seen.
No doubt.
And already, like, before the opening credits were even done, like, the film just had a great feel to it, like the way it was filmed and with the music and everything. I was like, all right, this has like just a really good feel to it. And there was there was some weird stuff. I mean, we don't have to be too spoilery with this. This movie's been out for 41 years. So, I mean, it's probably a film that's underviewed and underappreciated, though. So maybe won't give too much away. But there was a scene at the beginning when Tom is the leader of the Living Dead, this biker gang, and when he comes home for the first time, that was a fucking weird scene, right? When he walks in on his mother and the friends and
doing
stuff.
that spooky seance.
Yeah, like
and what was Dynamo? What was the butler's name? Did you catch it?
I don't.
Shadwell.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but I don't know why it matters.
Yeah, Shadwell.
Because Shadwell is from Weaveworld.
Oh.
Right? Was it?
Because I think
right?
Shadwell is a
Shadworld.
Shadworld.
Is a devil. I've just lost my vocabulary. Is like a devil proxy, like a devil.
Interesting.
Okay, to the devil, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I have some questions about that too. I don't know if we want to get into it, but so that was
what's funny? I have so much fucking Bigfoot knowledge. And I didn't use any of it in that. Like, I know fucking shit about Bigfoot. I know so much.
Shit about shit.
I know so much about monsters, and I didn't use any of it. But I'm like, oh, yes, obviously, Shadwell is an animal to the devil. Like, good work.
Right.
Drunk.
Open Spirit Guide.
So, I thought that was just a weird scene, like a weird introduction. I didn't even know it was his mother at first. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here, So that was a little weird, but that frog was fucking awesome.
What the fucking? I was watching that with wife and Chad. I'm like, oh, check out that frog. She was knitting. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, yeah.
I'm just gonna go through my highlights. I love the scene where they're terrorizing the city there, or the town, and they're just driving around like kicking people over,
quote unquote. Yeah, terrorizing. Yep.
Yeah,
running amok, never giving a fuck.
That's right. And interesting, one thing I read about it was that I guess they tore down wherever that is. They tore down that whole like area where they filmed this. So that's why like this film is sort of like is referenced a lot because of that. Because it's, I think from what I understand, one of the only places you can actually see that area. Let me look it up real quick. I feel like an idiot just saying that area, but yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. It looked pretty awesome. And let me see. I pulled it up right here on Wikipedia. It was also the last film of George Sanders, who committed suicide soon after its completion.
Who made some phenomenal things over the course of his career, including the most subversively politically incorrect films, maybe of all time if you really dig into them. Like the fact that they even made like a Fu Manchu series of movies at all, with how like inherently racist they are one thing. The fact that they had a Caucasian British man play Fu Manchu is even worse.
Yeah.
But probably one of Christopher Lee's best non-Dracula roles.
So here's the thing I was looking for. It says, frequently revisited by nostalgic modern audiences for scenes filmed in the now demolished and rebuilt Hepworth Way shopping center in Wellington Close housing block in Walton-on-Thames, Surrey. It's also more obscurely known as Death Wheelers or Psychomaniacs in Australia, so I guess that was the name. But yeah, I guess it's interesting that is a demolished area, and so people who are nostalgic who want to see it, they can watch Psychomania. So, but I thought that was pretty cool. There's some scenes that were a little dark for me, especially, and I think they were supposed to be. It's when they were riding at like dusk. It was toward the beginning, but it was almost a little bit too dark. But I do miss the day of filmmaking like this. I miss film like this, because it just had a cool feel to it. I mean, I can't really describe it any better than that. It just had a nice vibe to it, But the big thing for me, let me call out a couple more scenes. So when she I can't remember her name now, but let me just pull up her name real quick because I want to reference her properly. Jane Pettibone. That was sort of one of the other members of the Living Dead. She tries to knife a guy's tire.
Yeah.
And that scene was fucking awesome because she just leans over like this, and there's no way she could have got the guy's tire. It just looked fucking awesome. And then the truck veered off the road and blew up.
Right. Yep.
I also think that's what they call MonsterZero near the park, right? Pettibone.
And there was that montage. This isn't too spoilery because it basically says so in the synopsis. But the montage of the gang killing themselves was fucking classic.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
When that guy jumps out of the window, it was like 15-story tall leap, stuff like that. You don't see stuff like that anymore. That was a real fucking stuntman jumping out of a window. And the dude jumping off the bridge on getting run over by a truck. There was just that was cool. So those are the main highlights for me. I think it was definitely a batshit crazy movie. There's no doubt about that. But the thing is, I think since we've watched other batshit crazy movies that are more batshit crazy than this, this just was sort of middle of the road for me. This wasn't Seventh Curse. This wasn't Raiders of Atlantis. This wasn't The Cat. Those movies are fucking off the hook. Those are ridiculous movies. And this didn't go that far. Granted, it's not a fucking pissing contest. It's not like they're, trying to be the most crazy film. But I just feel after seeing a lot of those films, this wasn't as effective as it would have been if I hadn't seen those, I think. So I think for that alone, I think that it was a pretty good movie. And I can definitely see what you're saying, Tiny. It's pretty crazy. A lot of the supernatural stuff that's going on, I actually don't even know. I have some questions about it that I don't even fully comprehend.
Questions about the Hypnotoad?
No, not the Hypnotoad. Mostly about, because they show that scene sort of near the beginning when the mother is signing, signs a deal with the devil, is what I took it as.
Yeah.
But was that Shadwell?
Yes.
That would be my answer too. Yep.
Okay. Because later on he shows up wearing, at least I assume it's him getting out of the car wearing that cloak and stuff like that, know.
He also talks about himself in the first person when she's dissolving the deal.
Okay.
Right.
That makes sense too, yeah. So a lot of that stuff just didn't make a ton of sense to me, and they didn't really delve too deeply into what you're just undead, and you weren't a zombie. You didn't it didn't look like they lost any motor skills or anything like that. Why wouldn't you want to be fucking dead? Like I don't
Welcome
see.
to my life.
I don't
Well,
see.
he was like the poster boy when he came back, right? Like proving it all out with the pistol and the whole deal.
Yeah, I just don't see I don't see any negatives to doing it, you know. So that's why.
Except that you say sell your soul to do it, right?
Sure,
But then you can just break the deal, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously they didn't know that the deal could be broken, and you know, obviously in that case I wouldn't do it. But I mean, you know, like if I was a gang member, fuck yeah, I would do it because, you know, like you get to be undead and not have to worry about shit, you know.
There was no consequences for it. It wasn't like being a vampire and you couldn't go outside in the
Right.
daytime.
It's just exactly that's the thing.
It wasn't like you shouldn't pick 4-leaf clovers in the evening.
Right.
And I think that's the thing that bugged me a little bit was there's no reason not to do it, and like you know, like you said,
that's why all the kids get into it.
Yeah, that's right. Like it's not like a vampire. I guess technically you have a choice if you know if a vampire allows you that choice, but you know, and in that case there are negatives and to it, and certainly there are positives, I guess. But in this, it's just like okay, you kill yourself and you come back to life and you're undead. Cool, you can still do all the same shit you were doing. Like, I don't know. It just it was cool. Like, there's a lot of it that was cool, but there's a lot of unanswered questions for me. And you know, the thing is, I didn't really think much about that when I was watching the film. I was just kind of like, oh, this is a cool nostalgic film that's got some crazy shit in it. So for me, that's sort of where I was at. It had some potential to be fucking amazing. And I think it lived up to a little bit of that, but I think it could have been even more fucking crazy. And there wasn't really a big, like most films have a journey, I guess. Like it starts at point A, goes to point B, you know. But this one didn't really. I mean, I guess in a way it did, but it didn't. There wasn't a ton going on, you know. It just was like all these crazy scenes thrown together. But it wasn't so much like even like The Visitor, Dynamo. I just can't believe I forgot that one. That's a batshit fucking crazy movie,
right?
You know, and shit doesn't even make sense, but it doesn't matter because it's fucking like ridiculous and awesome. But so I think this would have benefited from more crazy stuff or a more cohesive story. And I think it was kind of a little bit at middle of the road for me, but I'm glad I saw it because it was a lot of fun to watch and it definitely was nostalgic. And I loved. Like The Living Dead looked awesome. I love those fucking helmets.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah.
Like
that's such a cool, like iconic thing. Now, whenever we see that, we know what it is. You know, like it's such a cool thing. So that's sort of my take on it. Do you want to go next, Dynamo, or do you want to go? Okay. All right, Ravenshadow. Let's hear your thoughts on Psychomania.
I can go. I was really locked in too. The music was great. I like the fact that since this was 1973, you know, that was all stuntmen, like you mentioned, like the bikes and the
which
cars.
was fucking awesome.
Like,
which was my favorite part.
There was some fucking, I don't know what bikes they were. Were they Triumphs, Tiny?
A lot of Triumphs. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know if they sped up the scenes, but that was all real, right? Real fucking guys driving.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
There was definitely some scenes like Abby. You could tell her because she had the different color jacket.
The red
she had,
jacket.
Right.
And you could totally tell it was a fucking dude driving when they showed the scenes from behind her.
There was even a point where they were like, when they listed the cast, it had the motorcycle riders.
Yeah.
It was obviously same, different dudes.
Yep.
I thought the main character, what was his name again? Tommy?
Tom.
He definitely reminded me of Alex from Clockwork.
A little bit, yeah.
And Ewan McGregor.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely like some of those mannerisms, like
he took them from Ewan McGregor.
Yes, well, he went to the future.
Yeah,
I know it was before, but
Ewan McGregor was Shallow Grave, right? Early on.
Yes, there you go. That was my joint
like
there.
Like that era of crazy Ewan McGregor.
Yes. Where he would do like, it was weird. Like he would accentuate certain words.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Thank you. You translate me, Tiny. Ooh. Very progressive motorcycle gang with the girl in the red jacket being second in command and taking over leadership.
Yep.
It doesn't happen in the HA. But, yeah, I don't understand their power system. and I definitely don't understand. Oh, I buy that. Okay, they're undead, they're bulletproof, but their bikes aren't. So when he drove through the wall, that should have trashed the bike a little bit.
No, it was obviously they had some supernatural chicanery going on. Is the bike he drove it right out of the fucking ground?
He ain't Ghost Rider.
He didn't get he didn't get bullet holes in his coat either when she shot him. If you recall.
Yeah, so it's like Battle Royal then, right?
It's almost like weird.
What's leather?
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's like weird. I don't know. I'll wait my turn.
In my Tuesday night Conan game, my leather armor protects me of a D4 worth of damage.
See, there you go.
Wow.
It might have been a small gun.
Never kissed a girl.
Spider-Man's the coolest. Yeah, I don't understand how the shit happened. I don't understand the frogs or the toads that much. I would have liked to watch this with.
When you press play, the movie unfolds in front of you and gives you the story.
No shit. No shit. No, overall it was really cool. It was a really moment in time. Oh, I do want to say this: the scene when they run amok in the grocery store. The first fucking thing I thought of was Police Academy 2.
Yeah, me too. Weird, right?
Right, which takes it back into the
Bobcat
Goldthwait, except running down the baby carriage was rather outrageous.
Yeah,
I don't think you need to do that. What was the whole? You had to want to die to be able to come back to life. Was that the?
You have to believe in it, basically.
Believe that you'll come
and
back.
one of them
believe that you're going to come back. Yeah.
One of them didn't, and he didn't come back.
Yeah,
which is basically saying you have to not be afraid to die to live.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a cool scene.
Is that all?
Yeah, I mean, there's no Sons of Anarchy, but
Jesus
which I
Christ.
actually watched this. Took a break, watched the fucking near 2 hour premiere of Sons, and then finished up on this. So it was a very rough trade biker night over at the Ravenshadow house.
I'll just start giving you writing homework.
Writing homework?
Yeah, you watch too much TV.
I do it for the show.
No, we've never made you watch Sons of Anarchy one time.
That's my program.
It's your program?
It's my
You sound like a
program.
fucking old man.
It's my stories.
You gonna watch your programs?
Yeah, I gotta watch my
All
stories.
right, so now to make me feel more like Michael Ravenshadow, I don't know how to save this Excel spreadsheet.
See, fucking give me that script back. Thank you, Tiny.
All right, Dynamo, you're up.
I liked this movie, but I didn't love this movie. What I did think I was going to fucking hate this movie, but I didn't hate this movie at all. In fact, I enjoyed this movie. There was a point in this movie, though, the first time I tried to sit down and watch it and thought that I was the victim of a 5-year-long Tiny White City of Malformed Children style prank. See, Tiny and I used to recommend movies to Ethan Magloofabits that were the worst movies we saw, and he'd rush out and watch them and then get furious at him. The cultivating in, or I can't, originated from a cultivating in a very exclusive and private screening just for him of Even Dwarf Started Small, where as soon as the movie ended, the lights went on and he stood up and went, fuck you, and fuck that midget, and walked out the door. So the Ethan Magloofabit's always a wordster. But but then the seance and the frog and everything else, and I'm like, he's City of Malformed Men in me, which was one of the most angering. We got a lot of people to watch City of Malformed Men.
Was it? It was Island of Malformed Men.
Yeah, you're right. Island of Malformed Men. People were pissed.
The City was the sequel.
Yeah, but City of Lost Malformed Men. I'm gonna take another gimmick here too. I agree pretty much with everything that Wolfie said. I'll tell you where I love this movie. The real stunts. I fucking loved it. I loved as you telling me about this for years, Tiny. I didn't know what I thought I was gonna get when the guy drove out of his grave. But what I didn't think I was gonna get was a guy driving out of that grave, like practically, like it was.
Actually, now that you mention it, I didn't think of it at the time, but it reminds me of De La Morte, De La More.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Claudio.
Yeah.
When he comes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But
I have no doubt that that was pulled right from this.
But where this movie lives and dies for me, which this is, I'm going to say something to contradict it later when we talk about how much I love the soundtrack and the score, is this movie is best with some sort of cool soundtrack over it and just as a visual thing. Because visually it is perfect in every way. In his madcap imagery, in its cool, iconic look of the bikers, in the fashion, in the beautiful women, in the cool scenes, and the fact that 100% of it took place, I would 90% of it anyway, took place during the day.
Yeah, that was cool.
This is a beautiful looking film. In plot-wise, it's not that it's bad or convoluted. In fact, it did what I wish more supernatural films did, was not overthink it. Like, the mythology was so basic, at least to, like, if there was more going on, which there obviously was, at least to the bikers and how they articulated it to each other was so simple and so basic, and, you know, the laws were, you know, malleable to fit the point. I think all that was awesome, but it wasn't, you know, I wish I had wrote down what he said, because it was exactly what was in my head while I was watching it. It wasn't as batshit crazy as The Visitor. It wasn't as campy or crazy as, it wasn't bad fun. It was, I guess this isn't fair, but what I was going to say is it wasn't as bad fun as, say, like Miami Connection or that female biker movie that we watched, the
Virgins from Hell.
Yeah, Virgins from Hell. It wasn't scary, certainly. It just wasn't anything enough. It wasn't violent enough. It wasn't funny enough. It wasn't anything enough. But I give this a very high recommendation. I will own this at some point. And I will probably have even on my wall the poster that Wolfie has up now if you're watching the show. Because visually this is a tour de force. Like, there's so much food for your eyes here. And it works better non-sequiturally, because if you don't think too much about it, you know, if you don't know what's going on, the Achilles heel of this movie is that it tries to make any sense at all. And I feel like that's kind of where it, you know, no pun intended, double pun intended, stumbles over itself. You know who loved this movie? Is my special lady friend.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That's
she watched
I
it.
could see that.
She watched it directly after we watched Willow Creek, and she like couldn't wait. We had like a movie date plans, and she wanted to go right home to watch this instead. And so, but I you know, I was nervous we were gonna fight as I was watching it halfway through, because I was like, there's got to be something in here that I'm not seeing yet. Like this, I never say this, but this is a movie I would like to remake, because I would like to make it just a little more over the top, just a little more trashy. Like this movie, I'm gonna say something awful about this movie. This movie needs and this isn't it. This movie needs a dab of Virgins from Hell, right?
Yeah.
It maybe even needs a cunt hair from Dear God No. Like,
yeah, maybe. Yeah. Maybe.
Okay, you know, like not much, you know, but it needs to, like, the imagery in the plot and the house in the very easy way everything is presented gives a lot of room for something, whether it's symbolism or sleaze or whatever. And other than a couple of Monty Python style, like, bike mayhem scenes, it doesn't really deliver much of anything beyond that, other than being really nice on the eyes.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is kind of, I mean, I like his movies, but it's not unlike this director. So,
as we typically try to do on the show, we try to ape from other people who have reviewed this film to say what we really want to say. And I think this actually does a good job. It's ohthehorror.com, and they reviewed it, and it basically says, personally, Psychomania has always been such an intriguing title with an interesting premise, to be sure. However, having finally seen it, I can say that something definitely did go wrong between script and screen here, as it's not nearly as entertaining as its absurd storyline sets it up to be. It's not a particularly poorly made film, but the film is lacking something to accompany its wacky plot. The film never fully ventures into campy, comedic territory, nor does it ever really become a horror film from a suspense or gore perspective. Instead, it just sort of languishes in the middle and never commits to being either type of film. So I think that's sort of what we were trying to say, Dynamo.
It's a good review.
I think what I was trying to say was goony goo goo.
Goody goo, Eddie. So, all right, Tiny, why don't you go ahead and talk about this, because I know you watch it again.
Yes, I don't disagree with any of that. I really don't. However, I think that some movies are just perfect being in that middle place.
Mm-hmm.
I think Buckaroo Banzai is a famous thing of that. Like, I don't think Buckaroo Banzai succeeds on almost any level that it's trying to.
Yep, I agree. I think that the feel of that movie is not in tone or anything, but where it sits is quite similar. It's
Kronos.
Like they're a band. He's a scientist. They're like crime fighters.
This part all sounds very unrealistic.
Right. But yeah, no, I agree. I think this movie, like, it's wishy-washy, but I love the way in which it is wishy-washy. You know what I mean? It's almost like Disney's take on the occult. It's almost like the Haunted Mansion of haunted house movie, like of a haunted house situation, where they never, like, there are deals with the devil, and there's whatever, life after death, and like, supposed like horrible, like, like revenge on the living, and like all this stuff. And at the end of it, it's like super tame. It's almost like Scooby-Doo villains or something like that. But instead of being told from the Scooby-Doo perspective, it's told from the villain perspective. And I just love that. You know what I mean? It's almost like it almost is more successful as a mockumentary on this motorcycle gang than it is as a cohesive, like, plot-driven movie, right? Because they never really get into much of why anything is happening. There's just like, there's a deal with the devil, and there's a part of this house that is like, that has some supernatural like stuff going. The son gets into that stuff, but it's never really a cohesive beginning to end plot. You know what I mean? Like, it's there, there's a deal made in the beginning, the situation with the mystery with the dad, and then the son kind of like comes in on it. I just think it's so cool. Like, the fact that the devil, or the devil's representative, is basically living in this house and is just a dude on the scene, you know what I mean, waiting for this deal to get cashed in. And the son just kind of like almost as an eavesdropper on it. It's just like, hey, that's pretty cool. Like, let me in on that situation. Like, it never gets creepy. It never gets like super gory. It never gets suspenseful. But I love that it sits exactly where it sits, because there are movies for all that other stuff. There's not many movies that sit in this place where they made decisions on what they wanted the movie to be. They wanted the movie to be more about being like cool and like mod and like hip, at the time, like with the cool motorcycles, the cool outfits, the like cool language, even, like the interactions and everything like that. And not necessarily about like killing people, maiming people, taking revenge on people,
doing things,
doing things. It's honestly just like, it's like a goofy motorcycle gang that thinks they're super cool, that get kind of mixed up in the occult the way that like a teenager would, you know what I mean? The way that we would like be checking out the like Satan's Handbook or like magic spell books, whatever, back when we were teenagers. It's got that feel for me, the feel of like sitting in the woods or sitting in your basement, like leafing through like magic like books that are supposed to be like real magic spells. It's like you're not really expecting your whole world to like this dark shadow to come over your world and like everything to change. You know what I mean? I think there's an innocence to it. You know, there's an innocence to them making that deal and all of this stuff that I don't know. It definitely speaks to me. You know, they didn't go off that deep end where it suddenly turned into, I don't know, there's no analog out there for me at the moment. Nothing comes to mind, but it doesn't go off that deep end where they make this deal and all of a sudden everything gets super dark. You know what I mean? I guess whatever an analog that comes to mind is Clockwork Orange when they're just causing mischief, and then all of a sudden there's that scene where they step over the line, and that changes the whole rest of the movie and the whole direction of the lives of those people for the rest of the movie. Right? There's never that step. It's like they're like shit, cool, like too cool for school, like misfit gang members that like totally think they own the world and so completely don't. You know what I mean? Like everybody just kind of like has no regard for them whatsoever, you know? And that doesn't change. You know, they're just causing havoc and mischief when they're alive, and then they are all undead and they're still just causing havoc and mischief. It's just so freaking out there and so weird. And I don't know, it's like not the best written movie, not the most successful movie in like plot movement, or it's certainly not acting, but it's almost like I want to take the whole movie and just put it on my desk. You know what I mean? To represent like that thing, you know, because as a thing, it's just so awesome. You know, like the visuals of the motorcycle, the gang, the helmets, everything, them doing freaking jumps in a field, them like circling the like witch stones and everything. What that all is, you know, that product that this thing is awesome. And the fact that it didn't come together to make a cohesive movie is almost irrelevant to me, you know? Like, and there's not too many things that I feel that way about, but this movie I feel that way about. I want to display like the whole spirit of the movie as a desk item to remind me how like awesome that sort of thing is, you know? But I don't know, like it's not.
You need to get a poster.
The poster doesn't really do it justice. I mean, I want to display something that doesn't exist. You know, it would have to be it would have to be like a scene in the field with them like doing jumps. You know,
it would have to be a snow globe that has them.
That would be a good one, like a 9-inch snow globe with them doing jumps in the field with the like witches circle in the background,
and then and then you shake it and fog and then it's all foggy.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. Something like that. But yeah, it was just like the mood of this movie is what really speaks to me, not necessarily the plot and the goofiness of it and the occult and the way that they present the occult in this and everything. It's too cool for me. Like I just think it's awesome.
The Bobby Chains points out that the horror are his boys for real. I think that's the site that he is always on, and that's where I found this review for Psychomania. But one of the things during when they're committing suicide, there's two deaths that don't like really lend themselves to coming back very well. When the guy jumps out of the fucking plane,
yeah, amazing,
yeah, and doesn't pull his parachute. Like, why doesn't his body splat all over the place? You know. And then the other one was when the guy puts the chains on him, and he goes into the water. Like, how did they retrieve his body?
Yeah,
so bizarre.
I know,
so
but
bizarre.
Like, I'm not nitpicking. It's just like because it's almost funnier because of that. You know, it's almost like works because of that.
That montage in particular, the montage of them doing like motorcycle stunts and driving around, and the montage of them all killing themselves, that's worth the price of admission alone, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
it's just
definitely.
Totally ridiculous and amazing, and him coming. Well, first of all, him being buried. was fucking awesome, and him coming back is also just so quintessential.
You know what?
Awesome.
Let's go ahead and give this a verdict. We got to wrap up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Trick or treat, baby. I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, so let's go ahead and give the verdict for Psychomania while Ravenshadow's eating an apple pie. So MZ liked this, so he said it was a treat. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say this is a treat, even despite my thought that it was sort of like middle of the road. It didn't go in either direction. Like, this is one of the ones I'd like to see be a little bit more silly or a little bit more serious, I think. But it sort of was just rode that line a little bit too much. But because of nostalgia, because of the way it looked, because of the soundtrack, because of the batshit crazy ideas, like, this is a fucking undead biker gang who dabble in witchcraft. Like, how can that not be a fucking amazing movie, you know? Like, just based on the premise alone. So based on all that, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a treat. And if you're a fan of, 70s cult films, like, this is cult or occult, I'd say definitely try to dig this one up. Ravenshadow.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we're all kind of have the same takeaway. We all picked up a lot of the similar, beats. I'm definitely on board with the remake idea. I think it would have to be also set in England, though. I think that maybe put a certain spin on it.
Most definitely.
You know what I mean?
I think so.
And that should be Stonehenge.
Oh, shit.
Riding bikes on Stonehenge. Just make it a little crazier.
That'd be amazing.
That's a fucking movie. No, cool recommendation. My only regret is that, we didn't all, vibe and watch together. Because that could have been a special day.
That would be a good movie to watch together.
Yeah.
Definitely. Good group movie, definitely.
Yeah. So, treat, Tiny.
All right. Marz Man.
Treat.
That's it? All right. I think we know what your answer is going to be, Tiny, but why don't you go ahead and just make it official here?
I'm just going to go ahead and say Trick, just because... No, I'm just kidding. Definitely a treat. Definitely a treat. Love this movie.
Oh, yeah.
That's my joint.
So, there you have it. There's our review of Psychomania. Tiny's been trying to get us to watch this film for months, if not years. We finally reviewed it.
I hope we can get some chat on the Fib about this, too. I know the Rev saw this, and maybe a couple other people have seen it along the way.
Yeah. Let's do it up. We'll post something up, try to get some discussion going. So if anyone out there that's listening has seen this film, I'm really curious to get other thoughts. So go ahead and email us, podcast@trickortreatradio.com. You can leave us an email or a voicemail, or you can do either from the website, trickortreatradio.com. Just go and click on the contact link, and then it'll give you an option to leave an email or a voicemail. We'd love to hear from you. So let's go ahead and let me fade this music out, and we need to wrap up. We don't have...
Do you want to roll to use the next?
We doing
that's
that?
a good idea.
Yeah, I
Let's do
got
that.
the list. So it's Wolfie is 1,
Yep.
0 is 5, and then it goes Tiny. Wolfie 0's 5. Yeah, then it goes Tiny, me, Raven Balls.
What numbers are you guys?
So
on?
wait, what?
Yeah, just assign a number.
So
2.
Wolfie is 1, Tiny is 2, I am 3, Raven Balls is 4, and MZ's 5, 6 is Wild Card.
So are we gonna when it goes to wild card? If we get
then
there,
I have to roll 2d10 percentile to go on the wild card list.
Okay, gotcha.
So let's see here.
Wait, do we need some music for this? Like some? Is there some
Yeah,
like?
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know if we need some sort of dice sound or.
I have a dice right here.
Yeah, you want me to blow on it?
What?
And it's number 1.
Oh, my pick.
So in a few short weeks, Wolfie, you have some time to let us know. And
oh man, that's a good one. I need to think of a movie that you guys may not have seen
that we haven't seen, but you feel is quintessential.
If the wild card had come up, want to see who we get?
No, let's keep it secret.
Yeah. Now, does it have to be a movie that we've seen?
I'm gonna try to find a movie you haven't seen.
But have you seen it?
I think that's the idea.
This is completely outrageous. Like that, these percentile dice are giving me 4 over and over again.
That's your fucking welcome. All right. I'll pick the broadcast.
Does it keep giving you 4?
No, like
okay.
Like, but it's not giving me like high numbers. Like,
you know what? I think it's up to the person to choose.
You're
If
not
it's-
rolling for damage though.
Yeah.
Other people in the higher slots better, or what's the story?
I do have a whole streak down here. Like, whoever made this, has a whole streak down here. I don't know. They're thinking they must have ran out of ideas, but like 28 through 43 just says Myra.
So I think it's up to the person who gets picked. So in this case, me, I would like to try to pick one that I've seen that you guys haven't. But it's also like if it could be a film that I've been wanting to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
It can be anything. So I think it's totally up to the person who's picking. So when this comes around in a few weeks, I'll make sure I'll give my announcement a week prior, and I'll start trying to think of a good one. So there you have it. We need a name for the segment. So Bobby Chains thinks we should have something or die because
Staph pick infections.
Die as in like you roll a die.
I don't want to ruin his day though. Like I am definitely rolling on my dice app. I'm rolling dice because what kind of nerd has a dice app?
Exactly. Bobby Chains is wondering if you're eating cigarettes, Ravenshadow.
Now? No, I threw it away. It's a
Some
delicious
apple pie.
Drake's fruit apple pie.
All right.
Remember, children.
And my Miller High Life. It's my dinner.
So that's going to do it for the review of Psychomania. We all said it was a treat.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Lots of treats tonight. There's 2 tricks for Willow Creek, but
Who else said it was a trick?
MZ.
Yeah, but he's thought it was racist. He's a Sasquatch himself.
he is. So there you have it. We don't have much feedback this week. We didn't get any voicemails unless supervillains stole the incoming transmissions, which is totally possible.
That's happened before.
Yeah. So we don't have any emails, any voicemails. We do have 2 tweets.
Ooh.
So let's do the trick or
tweet
moment. One is from Stitcher Radio. They've been tweeting out whenever we post a new episode. So thanks, Stitcher.
Yeah, there you go.
And we also got a Follow Friday from Penta Movie.
Ooh.
This is Andrea Wolanin.
Nice.
Our old friend. It's her new film that she's been working on. It's called Penta. The bio on Twitter basically says, Penta is a robot created to be the perfect woman, but what does that mean? As she acclimates to the world around her, her changes spur a chain of grim events. So
Sounds so good.
Yeah, some of the stuff I've seen, some of the images and stuff, it looks pretty fucking cool. So
She's the fucking best.
we'll have to, when that's available, we'll have to
We need to
check
get
it
her
out
on again soon.
Yeah, we'll have her on again to talk about it. Definitely.
I just re-listened to that episode. I had fallen asleep listening to one of the week's shows.
Oh, you fell asleep during the episode when we recorded it, you mean?
I almost did. Then I had the pie. But no, I had fallen asleep and had gone to that episode, and I forgot how good that was and how cool she was.
Yeah, that was
and
a good
how
one.
cool her little skit was.
I think our review
Film.
episodes are our best episodes.
The interview
sorry,
ones?
our
Yeah,
our
yeah.
review episodes. Remember those ones? Our interview episodes.
So she basically, well, actually, I don't know if it was her. It was Penta Movie, though. So I don't know if she runs that or not. But her Follow Friday was film fun, an awesome actress, and a wicked web show. So she included us on there along with OTC. So
Nice.
very cool. So that's the trick or tweet moment. There's
hopefully that they're at Rock and Shock.
yeah,
Hopefully we're at Rock and Shock.
yeah, exactly.
I imagine she will be, definitely. We should get her on to talk about that. Why not?
Sure.
That'd be great.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's make that happen.
Let's make
I
it
would like to
happen.
hear about that.
So what's up with the fib? Is everyone back to school nowadays? There's not much going on there.
I'll post something.
We need to instigate a riot. I need to get back on and ask everybody what their favorite vintage cabinet video game is again.
I think we need to Instagram
We
a
had like
riot.
freaking 600 replies to that.
That's true. That was a pretty crazy one.
Oh man, that was on fire. That was on fire.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode.
Yeah.
Tiny, do you have any final thoughts? You do have a new. How's your Jupiter?
Dude, by a pretty good margin, that's the best synth that I own now.
Really?
It's by a pretty good margin, the most expensive synth I own.
How many did you have to sell to get it?
Good.
How's the couch?
I've sold 3 to help pay it down. How's the couch?
Yeah, where you sleep now.
We
Just as comfy, tell him, Tiny.
I have
Just as comfy.
I have liquid assets that I can turn from one thing into another. So like the magic.
Yeah, but selling your sperm isn't a lucrative endeavor.
It doesn't work anymore.
Oh man.
Hey, Tiny, I'm gonna play.
They don't know that.
Tiny, I'm gonna play a couple seconds.
Jupiter, Jupiter, I made this with my Jupiter. Every time I buy a synth, I prove that I am stupider. I can write a song to this.
This is pretty good, Tiny. It's like a score.
This is a song I can knock boots to.
That's what.
You know what? I don't think I've written any songs about knocking boots.
Yes, you have.
Oh.
That's good stuff, though. If you want to listen to the rest of that track, head on over to
knock boots.
Head over
Sasquatch
to
girls.
Tiny White's Facebook page and check the rest of that tune out. I dig it, Tiny.
Can we call that song "Knocking Boots with Sasquatch Girls" on a hot Willow Creek Friday night?
Good.
I'm digging it.
Call it now. We know why they're missing girls so happy.
Yeah. Oh. Down at Willow Creek. Yeah, I know. No wonder she's happy. She's like, that Sasquatch, he sure is dirty, but he's hung like the end of the world.
Yeah. I like how in the end where the girl where they finally abduct the girl, she's like, oh.
Ooh. Ooh. And on that note, Dynamo, why don't you go ahead and take us out?
Ooh. That's Sasquatch for Remember Children. Wherever you go, there you are.
What was that?
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
Shit.
I don't think that stick clicking is very funny, Tiny White.
Shit, we better get out of here.
We gotta go. I gotta go outside though.
Sasquatch is waiting for you out there.
Can I stay over?
No.
That was definitely closer.
I used to.
Shit.
Oh, we gotta go. See you, Charlie.
All right, thank you for tuning in to episode 111, everyone. We'll see you next week for 112. We review Locke. Hang out with Joe from House of Horror. See you next week, folks. Unless the Yeti or Bigfoot or Sasquatch get you first.
When to go?
See you.
I have to go now.